Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking, all right? So shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It's good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me, please give me a thumbs up or radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face, all right? I'm going to shout out everybody who is in the building early, all right? We got Brooklyn Queen in the house. Shout out to you, Brooklyn Queen. We got Jerry Bedford in the building. Shout out to you. We got Carlton Way in the house. We got DC Precise in the building. And we got my man AB Promotions with the off-rip ducats. All right, so shout out to my man AB Promotion in the building. My man AB says, hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around with they broke ass. Facts, facts. So hopefully everybody is having a good Sunday, man. We got a lot of information to talk about, and hopefully we'll be able to get it done in a short period of time. I got some more content for y'all, some interesting stuff, and I got a decent, stream plan for y'all tonight. So if you're not subscribed to all the channels, make sure you take a moment, hit the bell, subscribe to all the channels. Make sure that you follow @BaseReality2 on Twitter. And also, if you're not a part of the Discord, make sure that you hit that link that is pinned in the chat. All right. So we're going to watch a couple videos. All right. And we are going to also read a couple articles. All right. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin price dip. All right. How many people have noticed the Bitcoin price dip? If you guys have noticed it, give me a thumbs up. If you guys haven't, give me a thumbs down. Now, here go my question. How many people finna buy on the dip? Shout out to my man Reality Check Virtual Radio. What's good with it, bro? How many people about to buy Bitcoin on the dip? If you about to buy some Bitcoin on the dip, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you're not, then give me a thumbs down. Because right now it's dipping. All right. Right now, the Bitcoin price is dipping. And we are about to actually bounce probably back up. We're probably about to bounce back up. But we're going to see what they're talking about over here. All right. So let's check out this video from CNBC real quick. All right. Give me 1 second. And real quick, if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, make sure you guys take a moment and hit the bell. I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right, there we go. And also, I got another question for you guys. How many people heard of central bank digital currency? I know my man TD Hip Hop Media has, and we've talked about it before, but how many of y'all have heard about central bank digital currency? If you guys know what that is, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't, then give me a thumbs down.
To end the week. MicroStrategy plans its second convertible note offering in less than 10 days. And Kraken's head of strategy breaks down why crypto prices are falling after notching new records in recent weeks.
So now here's my question for you guys. We're going to try to answer some of these questions as this video progresses, and we're going to ask some questions as the video progresses. Shout out to my man Black Bitcoin Key. I'm glad you in here, bro. All right. And that's facts. It's not a big dip. It's not a big dip. Now, why is it dipping? Why is it dipping?
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Brandon Gomez. Bitcoin and Ether both ending the week in the red. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin dropped nearly 4% to the $68,000 level, and Ether fell more than 4% to just under $3,700. Solana, however, jumped more than 8% to $181. Now, for the week, Bitcoin dropped nearly 2% and Ether fell more than 6.5%, even with the network's latest upgrade, Dencun, being finalized this week. Now, that update is meant to help with scalability. But a bright spot is Solana, soaring more than 23% as of noon. Okay, let's talk about today's top stories. MicroStrategy is planning its second convertible debt offering this month.
So we're also going to talk about Solana and some of the price changes with Solana. My question for you guys is, what is your end of the year prediction for the price of Solana? Put it in the comment section and let me know why you are assuming that that will be what the price is.
To buy more Bitcoin. After markets closed on Wednesday, MicroStrategy announced it was offering $500 million in convertible notes due in 2031 to institutional investors. Today, MicroStrategy announced the pricing of its offering, $525 million. Now the goal? Well, buy more Bitcoin to increase exposure. Convertible notes can be exchanged for shares when the stock hits a predetermined level and gives companies an option to raise money at lower interest rates than regular bonds. This came just 9 days after the firm announced a $600 million private offering in convertible notes. Earlier this week, MicroStrategy's executive chair Michael Saylor said on X that the company bought another 12,000 Bitcoin, taking its total holdings to 205,000. Next, 2 Senate Democrats are urging the SEC to block any further crypto exchange traded products. Senators Jack Reed of Rhode Island.
So now let me ask you guys this. You guys see what the Democrats are doing, right? It always comes back to the Democrats. And I got to agree with my man Black Bitcoin. Black Bitcoin Key says central bank digital currencies, stay away. Facts. Now, here's my question. Here's my question for you guys. Why are Democrats asking the SEC to block approval of more crypto ETPs? Why are they asking them to do that? And then again, pay attention. It's always the Democrats. Speaking of quote unquote, it always being the Democrats, what is the Democrats' stance on cryptocurrency? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And AB Promotion says $300 Solana. Anybody got any other guesses?
And LaFonza Butler of California sent a letter to SEC Chair Gary Gensler earlier this week, arguing that retail investors would face, quote, enormous risks from ETPs, referencing thinly traded cryptocurrencies or cryptocurrencies whose prices are especially susceptible to pump and dump or other fraudulent schemes. The senators also pointed to a FINRA survey, which disclosed that 70% of brokers' communications with retail investors regarding crypto violated fair disclosure rules, which the senators say raise, quote, significant concerns that brokers and advisors might provide incomplete or deceptive information.
Now, these things right here, right? This kind of information right here is what people concentrate. They catch wind of information like this, focus on that, and then they use these little tidbits of information to say that cryptocurrency as a whole is a scam. Like I said, it's not that it's impossible to utilize cryptocurrency as a vehicle for scam, right? But cryptocurrency itself is not a scam. This kind of shady activity that they're talking about that they want to regulate here, that's not the majority of behavior or activity that goes on with cryptocurrency. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
About Bitcoin ETPs to retail investors. The SEC approved spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US back in January and are currently reviewing applications for spot Ether ETFs. The SEC is due to give decisions on those applications from asset managers, including BlackRock, VanEck, and Grayscale, beginning May 23rd. And finally, a UK judge has decided that Australian computer scientist Craig Wright is not the anonymous inventor of Bitcoin. Wright claimed he was.
How many people heard about this little court case that was going on in the UK? They were trying to determine if Craig Wright was Satoshi Nakamoto. The court has determined that he's not, though, but this was going down.
Was the author of the 2008 white paper that introduced the groundwork for the cryptocurrency. That paper was written under a pseudonym, Satoshi Nakamoto. Well, the Jack Dorsey-backed Crypto Open Patent Alliance took Wright to court to prevent him from making that claim and suing Bitcoin devs, and a UK judge agreed. Reuters reported that at the end of closing arguments, the judge said the evidence that he was not Satoshi was, quote, overwhelming, and that he was in fact not the author of the Bitcoin white paper. All right, back to the markets for our main story. Crypto World's Jordan Smith spoke with Kraken's head of strategy, Tomas Perfumo, about what's behind Bitcoin's move lower.
And I got to agree. I got to agree with Black Bitcoin Key. Black Bitcoin Key says, please pay attention. They are talking about cryptocurrency, not Bitcoin. Facts. I agree 100%. Now, I want to ask Black Bitcoin Key, explain in the comment section to everybody that's watching, when you make a differentiation between Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, explain that differentiation, because I think that some people that might not really understand what's going on, they might not really get what you mean by that. I think most of us watching, but people that are new to this that might be watching, they might not know. So let me know the difference between quote unquote Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
For the cryptocurrency has been hitting new records the past 2 weeks.
All right, Tomas, thank you so much for being here. Really, I think at a perfect time to talk about markets directly. Bitcoin falling overnight back to the $68,000 level as we're talking, and it's about 7% lower from its recent all-time high. And people we've spoken to on Crypto World have been telling us for some time to prepare for a pullback of some kind. So is this just Bitcoin falling back to something that's...
Yeah, that's facts, Carlton. Carlton says, it's interesting that no one knows who created Bitcoin. I think that there's some people that probably do know who created Bitcoin. I bet you that there's some people out there who have that information. And I don't know if anybody will ever know who did it or not. That is interesting that will probably go down as one of the great mysteries of history. One of the great mysteries of history.
More sustainable. What's the driving factor here, in your opinion, for the sell-off that we're having?
Sure. So firstly, thanks for having me on. But when I think about this recent pullback, obviously consolidations in the face of bull runs tend to happen. I like to contextualize this kind of movements. Bitcoin volatility is still fairly low compared to historical standards when it comes to bull runs. So we're right now tracking between 60 to 70% annualized vol. That compares to triple digits when you get into some of these really crazy movements historically. And going back to that conversation around the all-time high, you really have to.
Oh, hey, and shout out to my man AB Promotions. This is the kind of information that AB Promotions is always interested in. Do you guys know that since we've been hitting the cryptocurrency topics heavy, that 3 people have unsubscribed from the channel? Ain't that crazy?
To contextualize this. So even though people get excited about Bitcoin exceeding $70,000, it's really still $1 trillion market capitalization asset. And in the broader context, it's a sliver of overall financial asset capitalization. So equities, fixed income, even fiat currencies, hundreds of trillions of dollars. And so I think right now the focus should always be looking forward. And for me, it's a story around adoption. And if you have conviction like I do in this industry, we see on the order of 500 million to a billion people entering crypto. And so that's really what's going to drive that long-term trend of growth in the value of crypto in general.
Yeah, let's talk about adoption long term. I mean, we've seen this huge rally this year. It's up, as you said, about 70K.
Now, here's my question for you guys. Where is the price of Bitcoin going after the halving? We're going to talk about that too.
As a new all-time high. And I feel like we haven't really seen any new addresses come online in that time. We haven't seen new users really come into the crypto market. In terms of adoption, what needs to change there to, yes, reach new all-time highs, but how do you expect adoption to change and to get more people into Bitcoin?
Sure. So let's put some data behind it and some, again, context. When I think about adoption, about maybe a little less than 10% of the global population has adopted crypto in some format as of last year, per a lot of market research. And when you think about empirical studies of technological disruptions and the adoption of those technologies, you tend to hit this tipping point. They call it the chasm, around 13 to 15%. And that's when you start to see that really a big acceleration along the S curve in adoption.
Shout out to Carlton Way. Carlton said they unsubscribed because they may not see crypto as something that Black people should be concerned about. Yeah, that's probably they probably did, which is interesting though, because out of all the videos that I have, not every single one is about cryptocurrency, but you know what I'm saying? If you do one thing, you know what I'm saying, then you gotta throw the person away, right? That's the tradition. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with Carlton, give me a thumbs down. And AB Promotion says after the halving, he could see a Bitcoin price of $100,000 to $150,000. Now, I remember back in the day when that sounded far-fetched, but as of recently, that's very, very, very plausible. You know what I'm saying? That's very, very plausible. And we're going to actually go through the reasons of why. And like, you know, if you're somebody that I talk to, you know what I'm saying, on a daily basis off of YouTube, then, you know, I send videos in Messenger. And sometimes if I remember, I put them into Discord. And I think, you know, Grind and Motivate and AB Promotions, I've sent them enough information to where there's convincing evidence that there's probably going to guaranteed within the next quarter be $100,000 Bitcoin. People still think that that's far-fetched. Like, I remember back in the day when Bitcoin was only like $2,000 and people were saying that, you know, they were making the $100,000 predictions and people were thinking that that was far-fetched back then. It's literally just right around the corner. Right now, if you ask me, when it comes to the cryptocurrency market, this is a very crucial time. This is a very crucial time that has life-changing potential. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have not shared the stream, please take a moment and share the stream to your social media
itself. And so we're really close to that tipping point if you think about it. And for me, that's what I'm most focused on in the next, call it 3 to 5 years. But let's look where we were even just 4 years ago at the last halving. Solana had just barely launched only a few months prior. EIP 1559 on Ethereum wasn't a thing. NFTs weren't a big deal. Staking was nascent. Institutions were only then at the very earliest stages of talking about Bitcoin as an inflation hedge. And since that time, total central bank balance sheets have grown 30%. Inflation has gone from, call it 1 to 2% in OECD countries to 3 to 4%. And then, of course, interest rates going from slightly negative to maybe 2%, all the way up to 5.5% today. So it's a completely different world when I think about 4 years ago. And what that means for people and adoption is you have more and more development, you have better, more intuitive and higher utility experiences that are going to cater to that early majority that's looking for something familiar and useful to them. And so that,
and believe it or not, even right now at this current juncture, we are still the quote unquote early majority. As long as this stuff has been in the works, as long as this stuff has been in the making, as of right now, we are still the early majority.
That's when you start to really see that acceleration and that 500 million billion plus people that I'm personally looking forward to in the next 3 to 5 years.
You mentioned the magic word, the halving, just now. And we keep saying it over and over again on Crypto World, and it really is just a few weeks away. In the past, it's been a huge catalyst for Bitcoin, but I'm curious if you feel that it's going to have the same impact on price this time around, or do you expect it to have less of an impact on this bull cycle?
When I think about this halving specifically, for me, I actually think it's perhaps the most symbolic in Bitcoin.
I believe that this halving right here, there's going to be such a tremendous transfer of wealth. This halving and the price bounce that could possibly occur, I believe that this will be the event that literally thrusts Bitcoin into everybody's household. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And then there'll be people out there saying, well, this came out of nowhere. Like, we can't believe this. Like, where did this come from? And it's like, yo, it didn't come from nowhere. The white paper that Satoshi Nakamura may have wrote came from nowhere, but all of this tracking came from nowhere, or didn't come from nowhere.
Bitcoin's history and possibly ever, especially on this stage of adoption. And what I mean by that is, like I said before, we're still very early stages on adoption rates. You really have to think about that acceleration. And so this timing is particularly important. And when I think about this halving, it's the first time that annual growth in Bitcoin supply is going to fall below 1%. So it's going to be around 0.8% to start. And 94% of all Bitcoins that will ever exist will have been mined by April of this year. And so think about institutions.
So you guys heard what he said right there, right? Let's just run that back.
On adoption rates, you really have to think about that acceleration. And so this timing is particularly important. And
shout out to my man, Project Leroy. What's good with it, bro? Project Leroy says, seems like there's a rug pull coming. Yo, bro, if you ask me, those companies like MicroStrategy, BlackRock, they're actually pulling the rug at a fast pace. You know what I'm saying? But people don't realize it. What did they say? MicroStrategy now currently owns 210,000 Bitcoins. That's crazy. And this is stuff that's not in the mainstream media, so nobody's really paying attention to it. And all of those companies that are buying the Bitcoin, they see the value of buying it and holding on to it, so they're never going to sell. MicroStrategy's CEO, Michael Saylor, has already come out and said they have a 100-year plan to keep their Bitcoin. Carlton crazy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, why didn't someone tell us? We'll be hearing lots of this pretty soon. Shaking my head. Yo, when people say that, make sure you guys share my videos onto their social media where you hear that. Make sure you share them. You know what I'm saying?
When I think about this halving, it's the first time that annual growth in Bitcoin supply is going to fall below 1%. So it's going to be around 0.8% to start. And 94% of all Bitcoins that will ever exist will have been mined by April of this year. And so think about institutions or individuals who are looking at Bitcoin as sound money. That pitch around the limited supply, only 6% left to create, as well as that really limited supply growth, less than 1% per year. You don't get that in addition to the technological advantages that Bitcoin has to offer on the demand side. So it makes for a really crisp messaging that's going to really, I think, play a role in that acceleration in the next 3 to 5 years.
The other catalyst we're talking about this year alongside having is obviously the ETFs. Do you expect them to continue to be a major driving factor for Bitcoin this year? And I'm also curious, just in terms of Kraken's strategy.
Now, shout out to Black Bitcoin Key in the comment section. My question is, what do you think the ETF game is going to be looking like next year as far as when it comes to Bitcoin? What impact on the price do you guys think that that's going to have?
You see them as competitive or as complementary to your business?
I think it does play a big role. You had a lot of locked up capital in the US that couldn't participate in getting Bitcoin exposure. And now you're starting to see this narrative play out in other countries where they're already looking at potentially launching their own exchange traded products if they haven't already on Bitcoin. So I do think there's going to be an ongoing trend of the role of exchange traded products. Now, how does it impact Kraken? So I see this on two fronts in particular. So direct impacts. Kraken has ownership of CF Benchmarks, which is actually the largest index provider for not just regulated derivatives, but also the US Bitcoin ETFs themselves. And so we do play a role in the reference and pricing of these ETFs for comparison and benchmarking purposes. And because we are included in that as a constituent in that pricing, we are also a liquidity venue for Bitcoin itself within the context of ETFs. And so a lot of that sourcing of Bitcoin that happens at the ETF level, at the end of the day, has to go to exchanges like Kraken to get that Bitcoin into their treasury. And so,
and real quick, I don't know if everybody knows, and shout out to Project Leroy for becoming a member. Definitely appreciate it. I think Project Leroy was a member before. Glad to have you back on the squad, bro. Yo, make sure you guys show Project Leroy some love. Throw some radiation emoji flames, ducks in the chat. And speaking of ducks, just in case anybody got that email, I don't know if you guys were aware, they demonetized Reacts. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's what they demonetized Reacts for. They demonetized Reacts and said that we reused and repost other people's content, which is not true. So I did the instructions for the appeal, and I filed an appeal. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully they will reinstate it. But if they don't, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We just do what we got to do and then just get the monetization back. You guys remember they had did that to this channel before. You know what I'm saying? So, you know how YouTube go. And shout out to Yo-Yo Queen. What's good with it?
Kraken's going to play a role directly. As far as trading itself and whether it's complementary or competitive, I think it's more on the complementary side, because at the end of the day, when you think about the different assets or asset managers that are playing in that space in the ETF market, in a lot of cases, they're prohibited from even touching spot Bitcoin itself. And so I think that it's going to be complementary in nature. It's going to grow liquidity. It's going to grow volume. It's really good for Bitcoin.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World.
All right, so there's that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to talk about the effects that the halving might have on Bitcoin. And as we know from what everybody is saying, right, and from what the historic patterns show that there's probably going to be an on average 21% increase in the Bitcoin price post halving, probably about 3 months out. So whatever the current price is right now, add 21% to that, and that's what they're assuming the post halving settling price will be. So who wants to do some math real quick? What's the price right now? And what's that price plus 21%? Let us know in the comment section. This is a clip from Fox News, Fox Business, and the title of it is Crypto Experts Say Halving Will Drive Demand Through the Roof. What does through the roof look like? Looks like sunny skies, you know what I'm saying? Palm trees, right?
All right, so Bitcoin set down to go yet another halving event, probably sometime in the next month. And you got to take a look at this because it rallied like huge after the last one. This, I think, will be the fourth one to bring a Pomp Investment investor, Anthony Pompliano. And, this halving thing. Explain to the audience, or at least let's try to explain to the audience what it is. So we have here the last time it happened. And you can see where Bitcoin was like a 10 grand, sort of, now we're at 70,000. Seems like it could be a good thing.
Let's go back supply and demand, right? If you have a supply and demand stays constant, but supply gets cut in half, obviously the price has to adjust to accommodate everyone. That's what happened back here in 2020. Bitcoin's trading about $8,000. We got a supply that cut in half, and then obviously price runs. Now, what's interesting is right now 900 Bitcoin per day are being produced. If you think in kind of gold terms, that's literally gold being dug out of the ground. This is Bitcoin being produced. It's net new Bitcoin coming into supply. But when we hit this halving occur, we're gonna go from 900 to 450. Now, what's interesting is right now, there is the equivalent of 9,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin per day in demand. So already we're at 10x more demand than supply. That's this huge price increase that we've seen. So once we go through this halving, if demand stays the same, we may be at 20 to 25x more demand than what the network is producing every single day. And I think that's why people are so bullish on Bitcoin's price.
And the max will be 21 million, right?
There will only ever be 21 million that are out in circulation. That'll take until 2140. Unfortunately, for most of us that are watching or talking right now, we're going to be dead by then. But 90% of the Bitcoin's already out in circulation, and about 70% of that Bitcoin has not moved. So what ends up happening is you have a very illiquid supply, and then you're going to get it more scarce in terms of the daily incoming supply.
That's what they mean when they say diamond hands.
Listen,
that's real diamond hands.
Bitcoiners are teaching traditional finance investors what it means to truly have conviction, to really hold an asset, and to hold through all that volatility. And what I think is really fascinating here is the people who are now buying the ETF, they realize this is a high volatility asset, but it continues to go up over a very long period of time. And so the volatility in the short term forces you to be a long-term holder, and it actually reinforces many of the best financial kind of lessons that we've learned over the decades.
I think the last.
And another thing about Bitcoin is that it's like the drug market, right? Because I've always said, if you want to actually look at true economic principles in real time, look at illegal activity. Supply and demand. Anytime there's a drought, you're going to pay a little bit more money for your bag of weed, and the quality might not be as good. You know what I'm saying? You can see actual real-time economic tools, supply and demand and equilibrium shifting and all of that with the black market. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. This stuff is really structured, okay? And the structure is built into the engineering of how Bitcoin was programmed, and they talk about that in the white paper as well.
Last 11 years, the number one asset, 8 of those. Of course, the 3 it wasn't. It was a worse performing asset, but it's worked out if you held it. Let's talk about these ETFs. So here it is right here. Look at this. So demand is really just, and you called this right here. How much? I mean, does this feed on itself?
Oh yeah, that's true. It's true with the weed, Yo Queen. If you usually get loud, you know what I'm saying, and you pay for, you know what I'm saying, for about a for a dime, you know what I'm saying, for about a gram, you know what I'm saying, $10. If it's a drought, you might mess around and be paying 15 per bag, 15 per dime for some mids or some Reggie. And the price reacts quickly, like boom, quickly. You know what I'm saying?
So what's really interesting is Larry Fink, kind of the king of Wall Street, he pushed Bitcoin to an all-time high. When BlackRock said, we want a Bitcoin ETF, they're 575 and 1, they're now 576 and 1 in terms of approvals. And so they were able to help do this. They ushered in not only themselves, Fidelity, many others. Now, what's fascinating to me is you're not only seeing net new interest in these.
And also, and shout out to Yo Queen as well. If the ads are bothering you on YouTube, you can also watch the stream at Based Reality on Twitter, or you can check it out on Rumble, but I think Rumble has ads too, or you could check it out on Twitch. I'm pretty sure there's no ads on Twitch because sometimes, the ads can get irritating. You know what I'm saying?
ETFs. You're also seeing BlackRock specifically say, wait a second, if we have access to Bitcoin now, maybe we want to put Bitcoin in our other funds, things like their bond funds, or maybe their income funds. And so I think that Bitcoin is now going to become a standard asset that's put in every portfolio. You see Fidelity in Canada saying 1 to 5% in all portfolios. But I think on Wall Street, people are realizing if I put an asset with a 2.1 Sharpe ratio into my portfolio, it's up 70% or so to start the year. That is going to give me a better overall performance. It's going to change the risk return profile of my current portfolio.
Now, I got a question for you guys. When after 2040, right? So again, 2040 is 13 years before the racial wealth gap is supposed to explode if it continues on the same trajectory as it's continuing on right now. What do you all think is going to happen to investment firms who don't hold any Bitcoin? What do you think is going to happen to those businesses after 2040 or possibly before 2040? Let me know.
And that's going to lead to billions of dollars in the short term and likely going to be trillions of dollars over the long run going into this asset. And if you only have 21 million and demand continues to go up, the price has to appreciate.
So 100,000.
Look,
this summer?
3 of the last 4 times that Bitcoin has hit a new all-time high, it has doubled in 18 days or less. And so we're right about, in that range now. Obviously, Bitcoin is starting to push up higher. I don't know how quickly it's going to go up, but I would be shocked if we don't hit 100K over the next 12 months.
He said that he'll be shocked if we don't hit 100K over the next 12 months. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying very close attention, but most of the new price projections that have been coming out have been saying that close to the end of the year, there'll be prices as high as $250,000 to $300,000 Bitcoin. If you guys agree that that's a possibility and that those prices are a very real thing that could occur, give me a thumbs up. If you guys think that that's far-fetched and that's probably not going to happen, then give me a thumbs down. So now next, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at another video, and this video is from Insider, all right? This video is from Insider, and it goes in a little bit more about the halving event that's about to take place, all right? Give me 1 second. Let me just get it pulled up here real quick.
A major event is going to shake the crypto world. It's called the halving, and it happens once roughly every 4 years. This will lower the number of new Bitcoin entering the market by half. But how does this work, and what does it mean for prices? I'm Ladle Maiden, and I cover all things investing and money. So the way that Bitcoin works is it's a type of cryptocurrency that operates on a blockchain, which is a decentralized network where transactions can happen peer-to-peer or person-to-person. Not one government or entity can have control over it. So because Bitcoin is a decentralized network, there are thousands of computers, which is what we call nodes, operating across the globe. And anyone can own and operate one. And what they simply do is they solve a series of complex mathematical puzzles and verify transactions in the network. Now, the node or series of nodes that find the new block are given a reward in the form of Bitcoins. Right now, that reward is 6.25 Bitcoin. However, that reward is set to be cut in half in April, down to 3.125 Bitcoins. These rewards are cut in half every 4 years, and this event is called the halving. The reason why they're cut in half every 4 years is, well, because we have a limited supply of Bitcoin. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in circulation. Now, I know it sounds like we might be almost towards the end since we've already mined more than 19 million Bitcoin. However, the last Bitcoin is expected to be mined sometime around the year 2140. Previous halving events have impacted prices substantially. In 2017, we saw the price rally by over 1,000%. The same thing happened in 2021. Now, investors and traders that understand this pattern, what they'll do is they'll add Bitcoin to their position during a quiet time in the market, or what's called during the bear market, and they'll hold on to this asset until the halving event. And once that halving event takes place, many that have been holding their Bitcoin for a while tend to wait and try to sell at these high prices. When the price of
Now, let me ask you guys this question. What she just described, is that one of the things that drives the price down? If that's one of the things that drives the price down, give me a thumbs up. If it's not one of the things that drives the price down, give me a thumbs down and let me know why you feel that way.
Bitcoin rallies and goes up, it tends to pull the entire crypto market up with it. Those who profited off of the price of Bitcoin are now taking their profits and throwing it into higher and more riskier bets like altcoins to try and make even more money. So there's a lot of things that could impact the price of Bitcoin outside of the halving. One of them is macroeconomics, specifically the US economy and interest rates. A lot of economists and the markets are speculating that the Federal Reserve could begin to lower interest rates by the end or the second half of this year. That could help push the price of Bitcoin up. However, it's highly speculative. Earlier this year, in January, the SEC approved a series of Bitcoin ETFs. This has made the asset much more accessible because you don't have to be a crypto expert or a Bitcoin expert to know where to buy Bitcoin. So now it's more accessible. What does this mean? Well, there's more demand for it. Even though we have historical data about how Bitcoin's price could move based on certain events, past performance never guarantees future results. The cons of this asset is, well, it's highly volatile in price.
Hey, listen, I'm not even trying to be funny, but how many of you guys like can't wait until December and we're doing these streams to see where these prices have went from here? I'm not even trying to lie. Like, I wish that I could extend time out, you know what I'm saying? Because we all need more time, because time is, you know what I'm saying? It's similar to Bitcoin, because how there's only 21 million Bitcoin, you only got whatever your lifespan is. So I never want to speed up time. I always want to slow time down. But I can't wait till December, till we're going back and talking about the things that we talked about in these old streams and seeing where things are then. I'm telling you, I can't wait. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot wait. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of where it is, I can't wait. Like, I am excited to see where we are in December. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Carlton. Carlton said, Look how she shifted her eyes when she mentioned altcoins. Right. Facts. Shout out to Yo-Yo Queen. Yo-Yo Queen says, even though I don't own Bitcoin, I watch it. When it moves, my Dodge and Shibas jolt up. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not mad at the Shiba and the Dodge, but get you some Bitcoin quickly. This ain't financial advice. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, Project Leroy. Project says most experts are holding Bitcoin on the up while pumping additional attention. Absolutely, bro. Do you guys notice how Elon Musk would do that with the Doge and the Shiba coins, and then there would be a crash after it? I got some videos on BLR1 where I was talking about Elon Musk and his price manipulation. What's that guy's name that passed away? He was a rich white guy. He was married to a black woman. I think his name was John McAfee or something like that. He used to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Price. And because of that volatility, it makes it very difficult for it to be a medium of exchange, for example, to be used as money. It also makes it a little scary to hold it as an investor. How price may move for Bitcoin in the future still remains unknown. We can say Bitcoin...
Bro, that is one of the best questions that anybody could ever ask. And that's some of the best investigative work to be done. You know what I'm saying? Would you guys, if you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Project Leroy says, I always ask the question, where are they quietly investing their money? That is the best thing to investigate. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. That is imperative to be on top of. You know what I'm saying?
Is in price discovery mode right now.
All right, so there's that. All right. So the next video that we're going to take a look at is a video from Forbes. And as you guys can see, the reason why I got these specific videos that I got is to just show how a lot of these financial mediums have changed their position on Bitcoin, because you would have never seen any of these media outlets covering Bitcoin or saying the things that they're saying now about Bitcoin in the past. All of these places back in the day were literally saying how much of a scam Bitcoin was. They were saying that Bitcoin would never go anywhere. They were questioning the value. At this point, people were still asking whether it's a store of value or not. Now, all of these financial places, they've changed their positions dramatically on cryptocurrency. And now some of the or on Bitcoin, I should say, and some of the people who were the biggest critics in the financials world are now some of the biggest advocates and some of the largest asset holders.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rosemary Miller here with Mike Belshi, the CEO and founder of BitGo, here to tell us about Bitcoin reaching new all-time highs. Thank you so much for joining me today, Mike.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So, Mike, Bitcoin just reached a new record high of $69,200, surpassing its previous high of $68,000.
So as you guys can tell, this video here, this is an old video. All right, this is an old video, because we all know that that Bitcoin has surpassed the 69,000 threshold.
$990 set in 2021. What's behind the sharp rise this year?
Well, I think it's all the news that we've been building towards over the last, nearly a decade now. The main driver here, of course, is the approval of the ETFs that happened in January. And all of a sudden, there's a distribution channel where people can access direct exposure to Bitcoin, which is larger than any distribution channel we've ever had. And of course, that's the traditional financial markets here in the United States. All of the ETFs have been bringing a tremendous amount of flow. From kind of the folks that have been in this for a long time, and BitGo, we've been doing this since 2013. We like what's going on with Bitcoin in terms of providing an asset that's got a monetary policy that is static and fixed. So you hear about this a lot, that there's a fixed supply. And as more people learn about the advantages of a fixed supply value storage system, they realize, wait a minute, the systems we've been using, dollar denominated or fiat denominated in other countries, has a lot of weaknesses by comparison. And so all of a sudden, everybody's looking at like what's going on at the government, monetary policy level. There's a tremendous amount of uncertainty. And people are like, I don't know what's going to happen with the US dollar. Is it going to remain the reserve currency of the world forever? Well, probably not.
Now, let me ask you guys this question, and we're going to be talking about this as well. Where do you all see the dollar going? I would say like in the next 5-10 years. what do you guys see happening to the United States dollar? What currency do you all think is going to be the reserve currency of the world in the near future?
Is that going to go in a cycle that's going to harm me? Maybe. I think I ought to have some Bitcoin in my portfolio. And here's the really simple way that, you know, retail investors and others can think about it. You know, you can take 2 or 3% of your portfolio today, and you can put it into Bitcoin. And the worst case is that you will be 2 to 3% poorer tomorrow down the line. That's the worst case. And by the way, it's still a bit experimental. There is still risk. There's a lot of volatility. All of those things are true. You should be buyer beware for sure. But the upside potential of it is basically unbounded. So when do you have an opportunity in your lifetime to enter into something that's got that kind of asymmetric downside and upside potential? It just doesn't happen very often. And just to make sure you don't think this is me, a little tiny crypto BitGo company doing this, Fidelity has a group of funds. I think it's called the All-in-One or All-in-One Fund or something like that. They just announced, I think it was last week, that their portfolio recommendation, and they've got kind of 3. They got a conservative and a medium and a high risk. The conservative one is a 1% crypto allocation. Medium is 2%. The higher risk is 3%. The only thing I disagree with on their numbers is I think those should be ratcheted to 3 to 5% instead of 1 to 3%. But even the guys that have been doing this for a long time, and remember, Fidelity.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Shout out to Carlton Wade. Carlton says, don't sleep on Ether. And we're going to be talking about Ether a little bit later on in the stream because they got some things going on too. Now, I don't know if the things that they have going on are going to cause a reaction in Ethereum the way that the things that Bitcoin has going on caused a reaction, you know, with the Bitcoin price. But Ether definitely has some things going on with more investor interest than other altcoins. And I think that is going to have a positive effect. Okay. I think that there's going to be a positive effect.
Is, you know, the top 2 asset managers on the planet, and the other one is BlackRock, also major ETF in the Bitcoin space. Their CEO, Larry Fink, is all over digital assets and crypto and looking to move deeper into that space. So anyway, a lot of validation has happened. A lot of regulatory uncertainty has gone away. Distribution channel to millions of people, and frankly, a backdrop where, you know, fiscal policy for fiat is really demonstrating the value of why you would want to be participating in Bitcoin.
Well, Mike, we kind of touched on retail investors and the institutional investors. Who's doing the buying right now that is, you know, responsible for this price rise?
It's interesting. You see a lot of speculation out there. I've met with a number of our investors that are traditional.
I got a surprise for you, Black Bitcoin Key. I got a surprise for you, bro.
Financial guys that are all over this. And typically what people say is they're seeing small ticket sizes. What that means is it doesn't look indicative of tremendous amounts of institutional flow. I think institutional flow is ticking up a little bit, but remember the ETF was approved in January. Institutions move pretty slowly and conservatively. I don't think that anybody was like saying, oh, okay, it's definitely going to be approved in January. Instead, they wait to see that happen. They wait to see what the initial fallout, shakeout is of the 11 different ETFs that will get launched. And then they go to their investment committees and they start to push forward after that. So I think the institutions are yet to come. I think this has been largely retail driven. That is, those that are calling up their brokers and they couldn't do it before. It was too intimidating to get access to Bitcoin, kind of doing it on your own and holding your own keys and things like that. And this is actually very encouraging, I think, for the space because there's a lot of people saying this is the institutional money. I think the institutional money is yet to come.
Well, are there any other factors that can contribute to the price going up? And are there any factors that could make the price go down?
Look, there's a lot of risks. Let's talk about the downside risks, right? This is a relatively new technology. Now, it's not that new. It's been around for 15 years. It's run incredibly resiliently. It's had a constant fiscal policy. It's the only system in the history of mankind which has had an untinkered fiscal policy of any other system. And that's because humans usually like to tweak things, right? Suddenly you're making money and you're like, hey, why don't we tweak it to make a little more money? But Bitcoin doesn't do that. It's very static. So there's a lot of stability of being around for 15 years, but it is still relatively new. Is it possible that we would have a major hiccup somewhere in the technology? I suppose it's possible. There's some threats around quantum technology, which some people are worried about. I think those will be mitigated pretty easily as they come, but you can't fully dismiss it. And then, regulatory action. Remember, money is power. And what we're seeing right now is a lot of political forces starting to galvanize and organize against Bitcoin because they see this as a threat to their power. Now, my view of this is that any of these threats are short-term.
Now, shout out to Project Leroy. Project Leroy asked the question, who is funding these Bitcoin projects? We got MicroStrategies, which we'll be talking about them later, BlackRock, Fidelity, And then there's some smaller financial institutions as well. Anybody that knows some of the people who are funding the Bitcoin projects, like the ETFs, the Bitcoin portfolios and all that, drop it in the comment section.
For the long term, I think Bitcoin has staying power. Remember, Bitcoin is the form of money that returns the power to the people. And returning power to the people, we've seen it in history. It can be brutal. It can take time. But in the end of the day, the people win. And this is a system which puts all of us as individuals at the exact same priority as every banking, financial institution, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, et cetera. And where do you want to be, when the going gets tough? Do you want to be in control of your own destiny, or do you want to be dependent on those other parties? So there is risk. Sorry.
Well, no
Yes,
worries.
please.
Well, Mike,
Answer.
we're seeing new all-time highs. I'm kind of wondering, should people have panicked so much when?
So now, do you see how he said in control of your own destiny? So if people wonder why I'm such a cryptocurrency enthusiast and why I always have been a cryptocurrency enthusiast, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, if that is not consistent with the rest of my content, what he just said, I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? So it would make sense that somebody of my worldview, somebody of my philosophy would really be a supporter of cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Fantizzy. I gotta agree. If you guys agree with Fantizzy, throw them rockets in the chat. Fantizzy says Bitcoin is the way to go. I still rock with, I still mess with Ether. I still mess with Ether. You know what I'm saying? But there's been a lot of content out saying that people should own 0.1/10 of a Bitcoin. People should own 0.2 of a Bitcoin. I'm not mad at those. And I think that wouldn't be a bad idea to aspire to. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys think about that. And if you guys want some of those videos, we can start looking at some of those videos too. So, you know what I'm saying? If there's ever any crypto videos that you guys want me to react to, or, you know what I'm saying, stream about or talk about, make sure y'all drop them in the Discord or tag me on Twitter or, whatever. I'm not real good at getting back at anything other than, the Discord, you know what I'm saying? So that's probably the most guaranteed way, but, shoot them to me.
Bitcoin was at what, like 16, 17,000?
Look, there's a lot of education here. This is a different monetary system. So my own experience, I mean, maybe I learned about Bitcoin earlier, but I'm not some super genius that just like instantly saw this for what it should be. It's a radically different system. We all spend our time thinking so much about the money that we receive in exchange for the hard labor and work that we do. But do we think about the system that's behind it? How does it work? What is the value of money? When I started,
I think about it all the time. I'm not going to lie to you. The monetary system is something that I've always questioned. I've literally always questioned it. And the thing that made me question it? The thing that made me question it is, how can Africa be so poor and so rich at the same time? That question literally made me question the global financial system. What about you guys?
in the system, there was the major complaint against Bitcoin is that it's backed by nothing. It can't be worth anything. Well, what is fiat backed by? It's also backed by nothing. And if you ask or survey Americans to this day, you will hear a significant portion of them think that somehow money is still backed by gold. That's a fiction. It's just simply not true. Pretty much all of the currencies around the globe are fiat based. Anyway, so it's no surprise that you come out with this thing that's crazy. It's Bitcoin.
And Project Leroy brings up a good point. Project Leroy says, Bitcoin is a monetary system for who? Last time I checked, the US dollar is backed by the US military. Now, here's the thing. I agree with that, right? The US dollar is absolutely backed by the US military, US government, stability, reputation, T-bills, and a basket of assets that back the United States dollar, as well as people's faith in the stability of the United States and the usability of the dollar worldwide. I would agree that all of those things back the United States dollar. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, the first part of the question, Bitcoin is a monetary system for whom? My answer to that, and you guys can add on or disagree if you want to, let me know what you guys think. Bitcoin is a monetary system for people who don't have faith in the global fiat currency system and who collectively have a trust in the algorithm that backs the economic regulation of a finite supply of Bitcoin. And that community is a growing community. Anybody who deals with Bitcoin, I would say that Bitcoin is a monetary system for them. So the larger that faith in Bitcoin community grows, the larger the monetary system for those people would be. And as we can see now, it's grown to where large liquid businesses are part of that growing community. If you guys would agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. If you want to add to, take away from, make sure you guys do in the comment section.
It was founded by some guy named Satoshi. Nobody knows what he is. There's like mining, and you have to do these, proof of work, which uses a lot of energy. Of course, it takes time to get your head around like what are each of these components and how do they work. But at this point, it's been heavily scrutinized. I'm probably one of the smaller players, like I mentioned. Larry Fink over at BlackRock. Of course, he was slow to the game. Fidelity got into this in like 2016 with Abby Johnson going full in. And of course, down the line, whether you're talking about Paul Tudor Jones or Anthony Scaramucci, like folks that are major financial investment advisors are all looking at this as saying, okay, this passed the muster of like it's legitimate. And now we can start to think about how does that really impact change from the way the traditional financial system has operated for so long.
And speaking of traditional finance, since now they're kind of in bed with Bitcoin, does that make a difference with Bitcoin's current all-time high? Whereas, we had...
Now, here's my thing to her question that she's asking right now. I think that makes a huge difference. Shout out to Trick Bag Shorty. Welcome to the stream. I think that makes a huge difference. The fact that a lot of these large institutional investors have become comfortable to add Bitcoin to the value that they offer to their customers and to back their companies, that really lends a lot of credit. And it also provides huge usability points. You know what I'm saying?
All these strange players who are kind of out of the way now. Is it different this time?
Well, for sure it is. These are parties.
Hey, Carlton said, imagine if they found out a brother created Bitcoin. I believe that that's one of the only things that could make the Bitcoin value go down to zero, because immediately, all them folks would dump it if they found that out. I think that would be the only thing. Remember how we was talking about extenuating circumstances and people were saying what were things that could occur that would cause the Bitcoin price to go below 15,000? If them folks found out that a black man created Bitcoin, that shit's going to zero instantaneously. Coinbase about to shut down. You're not about to be able to access your wallet. Everything about to be broken. That's what's going to happen. Bitcoin, you will see an immediate Bitcoin and Ethereum price swap. Like, it'll be immediate. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bitcoin will be trading for the price of Shiba. You know what I'm saying? And Ethereum will magically be $300,000 a coin. That's what would happen if them folks found out Satoshi was black. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a brother that looked like Eddie Griffin too. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a brother that looked like Eddie Griffin with the pimp coat on and the cowboy hat too. Like, yeah, my name's Satoshi Nakamoto, bitches. And y'all just made me a trillionaire. You know what I'm saying? And when that shit happens, it's done. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? The news is going to be on. In other news today, ladies and gentlemen, it's been discovered that Satoshi Nakamura is actually a black man. And miraculously, for some reason, despite the fact that we live in a post-racial society and nobody really cares about these things, the value of Bitcoin has gone from $500,000 per coin to mere tenths of a cent. We don't understand what caused these issues. We'll be studying the markets and we'll be back to you. You know what I'm saying? I can only imagine.
That are highly trusted, in the financial system. Some would argue that they shouldn't be. I think they deserve a lot of credit for building kind of things the way they are. Many people put.
That's a good question. Shout out to Project Leroy. Now, Project Leroy said, which mumble rapper, quote unquote, is up to task to rap about Bitcoin? I don't think that any mumble rapper is up to task to rap about Bitcoin. I'd be interested to hear a mumble rappers rap about Bitcoin. I'd be interested to hear it. How y'all think it would sound? You know what I'm saying? I got them Bitcoins. I got them Bitcoin skirt. You know what I'm saying? You know the host love me. I got them Bitcoins. Y'all working with Satoshi? I can see it. I could already see it. You know what I'm saying? Your boy FN Mecca. FN okay. So yeah, we could actually say FN Mecca in Ghana. We could say that. Shout out to the Turtle Island Assassin. Turtle Island Assassin said Larry June raps about Bitcoin. Who is Larry June? I don't even know who Larry June is. I'm gonna have to check it out. We're gonna have to do we're gonna have to react to the song.
Put their investments in their hands. So forget about Bitcoin for a moment. I mean, imagine if, I don't know who your broker is. Maybe it's Charles Schwab.
Hey, here you go. Yeah. Project Leroy said Bitcoins make them dance. We could say coins to make them coins to make them boing. Coins to make them boing.
TD Ameritrade, whatever. Imagine if you logged into your brokerage account one day and everything said zero.
Yeah.
Could happen, right? But you probably don't think about that very often. But there could be a glitch in the system. There could be a mistake.
Now that glitch in the system will be when they find out that it was an FBA brother that's actually Satoshi. That will be that glitch. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk could be tweeting all day long.
The broker that you trust 100% with all of your money could just say, oh, nope, we don't have any record of that. Sorry. See you later. Look, Bitcoin changes this, right? Bitcoin actually makes it so it is transparent. Now, when you buy it through a broker, it's got some of those same issues. But these trusted parties have been working with investors. Of course, if lots of people had zero showing up unexpectedly in their bank accounts, they wouldn't have a lot of customers. So obviously, they work hard to make sure that that doesn't happen. Having them participate in the ecosystem validates, helps make it so that we can distribute this to more people. As we distribute it to more people, it gets more stable. The volatility goes down. Tremendous number of benefits. Lastly, on the regulatory side, look, this is operating through the approved system of the U.S. government. The SEC established back in the 30s. The main tenets of the SEC were also established in the early 40s. They've been evolving quite a bit. But when you look at how do you manage assets in a safe way for U.S. retail investors, we now have a product which completely fits within those rules.
All right, so there's that. I thought that was a pretty informative video. You know what I'm saying? This stuff ain't the most exciting stuff, but I thought that was a pretty informative video. You know what I'm saying? So check this out right here. This is that surprise for Black Bitcoin Key, because he mentioned that central bank digital currency. Hong Kong is now starting a new phase of their central bank digital currency testing. Now, here's my question. What do you guys think about central bank digital currencies? I think this concept right here is something that really scares people. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't like the idea of central bank digital currencies at all. I don't like the idea of central bank digital currencies at all. If you are in support of of central bank digital currencies, give me a thumbs up. If you're skeptical about central bank digital currencies, or you're not really feeling the idea at all, then give me a thumbs down. You know what I'm saying? Phase 2 of the EHKD pilot will be supported by the recently launched regulatory sandbox for testing wholesale central bank digital currencies and tokenization, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority said. Now, I'm not trying to be funny, but if this is going down in China, this is, if you ask me, this is definitely not something that, is anything that anybody would really want to see here. Okay. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority has kicked off the second phase of its central bank digital currency pilot, the EHKD, the regulator said on Thursday. The central bank will continue testing from the first phase and explore new applications of a digital version of the Hong Kong dollar. The HKMA completed phase 1 of the pilot program, which tested using a CBDC in domestic retail payments, offline payments, and settlement of tokenized assets. The next phase we delve into selects pilots from phase 1, where an EHKD could add unique value, namely programmability, tokenization, and atomic settlement, as well as explore new use cases that have not been covered in the previous phase, the regulator said. Earlier this month, HKMA started a regulatory sandbox project to test CBDCs for wholesale use and tokenization, which the regulator says will support phase 2 of the EHKD pilot. Hong Kong is among more than 100 jurisdictions worldwide exploring the issuance and applications for CBDCs, with some regulators convinced trusty central bank money could compete with payments-focused private crypto such as stablecoins. Okay? I don't like the idea of a central bank digital currency at all. I don't like that idea at all. All right? But I'll tell you one idea that I do like. I do like the idea of Ethereum ETFs. Who likes the idea of Ethereum ETFs? Ethereum. I said Ethereum. Ethereum ETFs. If you guys like the idea of Ethereum ETFs, give me a thumbs up. If you guys are not thrilled or big on the idea of Ethereum ETFs, then give me a thumbs down. Ethereum ETFs could be bigger than Bitcoin ETFs, says Van Eck. Now, I already know Black Bitcoin Key is not going to agree with that. And honestly, without hearing about a commitment of companies to already be ready to purchase and create these Ethereum ETFs and make them available for their customers through their portfolios, I don't know how big they'll be either, or what the impact will be either. I'm almost 100% certain that the demand for an Ethereum ETF is nowhere near as big as the demand for a Bitcoin ETF. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost certain of that. Okay. With the deadline for a decision on the approval of spot Ethereum ETFs by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission approaching, industry experts are weighing the potential uptake of such a fund. Some say investing in an Ethereum ETF wouldn't make sense, such as the funds won't likely allow staking reward distribution. Investors, they argue, would be thus better off buying and staking their own Ethereum. And I would agree with that, because how are you going to get the staking? How are you going to get the staking rewards if you buy your Ethereum through an ETF? What's going to end up happening is the company that you have bought the ETF through is going to stake that Ethereum and probably only pay you a percentage of the dividend. You know what I'm saying? When you can get higher by doing it directly on the Ethereum network as a node. You know what I'm saying? But Van Eck, the global investment firm whose Bitcoin trust is among the 10 spot Bitcoin ETFs that became available earlier this year, thinks that Ethereum ETFs could attract huge demand. I think that Ethereum ETFs will attract huge demand, not initially. I think that once the Bitcoin price gets to be ridiculous, then people will be trying to find or create a next Bitcoin, and they'll see that Ethereum has kind of been overshadowed and undervalued, and then they'll start hurrying up and trying to dive into Ethereum and start doing the same thing that they're doing with Bitcoin right now. But I don't think initially there's going to be like this just giant impact from Ethereum ETFs. But I think it's more of a long-term thing with the Ethereum ETFs. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a good thing if they do get approved. I just don't think that we're going to see a dramatic pop immediately. I think that that's more of a long-term thing. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys watching. We got 27 people watching. If you guys have not smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash the like button wherever you're watching from. If you haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell. And if you haven't shared the stream, please share the stream to your social media. We got 27 people watching and we got 29 likes. If we could get the likes to 40, that would be wonderful. And I got to agree with AB. If you guys agree with AB, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. AB says the people right behind us will be heavy into Ethereum. Yeah, I agree. From a market perspective, part of me believes that the market size for a spot ETF is potentially as big, if not bigger, than the spot Bitcoin ETFs, said Van Eck, portfolio manager Pranav Candy. That would be a tall task given the more than 10 billion of net inflows into the spot Bitcoin products in only about 2 months of availability. The world of investors who are looking for cash producing assets is massive, and Ethereum obviously generates fees that go to the token holders, explained Candy. Even if you don't have an ETF that can offer staking as a part of it, it's still a cash producing asset. So I think Ethereum could make more sense as an asset to more people than Bitcoin does. And I think that that would only make sense to people who understand investing and people who understand cryptocurrencies and blockchain. But I don't think that there's a large majority of people who have a good understanding of those. And I gotta agree with Black Bitcoin Key. Black Bitcoin Key says Ethereum is not scalable. That's its biggest problem. Facts. And if you ask me, that's with all these network upgrades and stuff that they're doing with Bitcoin. That's with Ethereum. That's one of the main things that they should be working on is improving the scalability. You got all of these. There's a lot of altcoins that have come up that are kind of making their case for existence, creating Ethereum scalability. Like there's an entire ecosystem of altcoins made up to improve Ethereum scalability. Like, why don't Ethereum just improve its own scalability? You know what I'm saying? As the Ethereum uses proof of stake consensus mechanism, holders of Ether can earn yield by staking or putting their tokens to work on the blockchain. On Coinbase, for instance, Ethereum stakers can earn about 3% yield, and they shouldn't use Coinbase as an example of that. That's a bad example. An actual example is if you have 28 Ethereums and you create and you become a network node and stake your Ethereum. I don't know why they use Coinbase as an example of that. That's not a good example if you ask me. Shout out to Lewis Knowles. What's good with it, bro? Still, the odds of SEC approval of spot Ethereum products are far from assured. Analysts at Bloomberg recently lowered the chances of a regulatory green light, even without the staking project, to just 30%. For his part, Kincaid places the odds at more like 50. So one thing that's going to cause issues is that if these Ethereum ETFs, if the Ethereum ETFs don't get approved, I think that's going to have a negative short-term effect on the Ethereum price. You know what I'm saying? Van Eck, which has over 68 ETFs under its umbrella, earlier this week temporarily cut the management fee on its Bitcoin trust from 2% to 0%. The 0% remains in place until March of 2025 or until the fund goes up to $1.5 billion. Okay. Initially, we were one of the few that did not do a short-term waiver. We came out very aggressively at a low fee right from the start. And I think I always had thought that was the right level to be at. But I think our thinking was historically with the ETF launches, the short-term waivers have not gone over that well. And frankly, they can be a little confusing and maybe have a lack of transparency as to how they work, said Kyle DeCruz, director of digital assets products at Van Eck. But we listened to our investors, and it's clear that was important to investors in the market. So we shifted, he continued. Relative, we'd like to do better, and part of that initiative is the fee waiver. The move so far is an apparent success. In the roughly 2 months from launch until the fee trimming this week, Hold had attracted about 4,300 Bitcoin and just shy of $300 million. In the handful of days since, the fund has ballooned to more than 7,200 Bitcoin and $527 million. Okay. You guys see how quickly that increased? So again, this is one of the things that's important when we're talking about this. What we got to understand is that when we're talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, we're talking about astronomically large amounts of money doing ridiculous things that people are not used to seeing with astronomically large numbers. People are used to seeing small decimal numbers double, triple. People aren't used to seeing numbers that are already huge, like 100,000 exponentially increase. But that's the situation that we have with Bitcoin. Okay. That level places hold fifth in AUM among the 9 new spot Bitcoin ETFs, accepting grayscales behind BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK 21 shares, and Bitwise, and ahead of Invesco Galaxy, Franklin Templeton, Valkyrie, and Wisdom Tree. Currently, only about 1% of the firm's AUM is in crypto, but Van Eck CEO Jan Van Eck would like that number to be much larger, according to Kincaid. Okay. So I don't think that Ethereum ETFs are going to have a huge impact on Ethereum in the short term, but in the long term, I think that they will. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to investigate. All right. We're going to investigate the 2 reasons behind the Bitcoin slump and what will drive the quote unquote next move up. Now, I think we all got a pretty good handle on what caused the Bitcoin slump. I think we all are in agreement that people are selling off their profits right now. But we're going to see what this article has to say. Now, another thing that I think that we're in agreement with is that one of the next things that'll drive the price up is ETF cash inflows and the reduced availability of Bitcoin as a result of the halving. If you guys agree with those things, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, then give me a thumbs down. Okay. Bitcoin fell over 8% in the past 24 hours after reaching record highs earlier this week. Analysts pointed to the U.S. economy and trading strategies surrounding leveraged positions. Even so, they remain bullish about the strength of crypto rallies. Macro will rule out here, said Jonathan DeWitt, CIO at digital asset trading firm Zero Cap. The Bitcoin bull run is not over, despite the fact of the price of Bitcoin plummeting to below $67,000, analysts say. Now, let me ask you guys this. How can the bull run not be over with the price down that low? What do you guys think? An 8% drop triggered more than 800 million in liquidations in the past 24 hours, according to CoinGlass data, and Bitcoin accounted for about $283 million of those liquidations. But market watchers are optimistic, pointing to the performance of Bitcoin and Ethereum in recent weeks, where they quickly regained value after big price drops. All right. Macro will rule out here, Jonathan DeWitt, chief investment officer at digital asset trading firm Zero Cap, told DL News. If the U.S. economy really hits the skids, then I think we'll get a more protracted downside. On balance, I still think we are bullish. Okay. The prediction comes after a rally that has largely been driven by the approval of 10 Bitcoin exchange traded funds in January. Okay. Volumes of $65 billion flowed through the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs in March alone, breaking records set in February. Bloomberg intelligence analyst Eric Balchunas tweeted on Thursday. Bitcoin surged to a record high, surpassing $73,000 earlier this week, and is expected to reach $150,000 to $200,000 over the next year, depending who you ask. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? it's not really depending who you ask. Believe it or not, literally most people are saying the same thing. Would you guys agree that most people who are predicting these Bitcoin prices of 100,000, 150,000, 200,000, most people are saying the same thing? So it's not like there's like a lot of debate about this. It's just a matter of when and what event is going to trigger it. It's not so much an if thing. It's more of a when thing. Analysts gave different reasons as to why crypto prices dropped on Thursday. DeWitt suggested macroeconomic factors likely caused a drop in crypto prices. And again, I don't know if I necessarily agree that macroeconomic factors likely caused a drop in crypto prices. I believe that rapid sell-offs caused a drop. I would also say that this is more of a slight correction than a quote unquote actual crash. And I gotta agree. I gotta agree with Black Bitcoin Key. It always settles at a higher low, right? That we've literally seen that happen historically. You know what I'm saying? We saw outlier inflation figures and lower than forecast retail sales in the U.S. on Thursday, he said. High inflation, low growth is a tough scenario for central banks amid a stagflation narrative. Ryan McMillan, Chief Investment Officer at Australian crypto fund manager Merkle Tree Capital, said the price decline was likely due to leveraged long positions being flushed. And I think that that's probably more accurate. A flush in leverage refers to a market event where traders using borrowed money to buy assets like Bitcoin are forced to sell to cover their positions amid a significant drop in the asset prices. And I don't think that caused as much of the issue as they think that it did, but I think that's more accurate than what the last assessment was. Such events have become more frequent since the launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs, according to McMillan. This could be a new market dynamic we have to get used to, but ultimately a positive to reset leverage before the next move up, he says. And again, I agree with that. Because what's going on now is we're settling in and getting the 65 area comfortable so that we can start bumping to those new highs of 80, 90, and then pushing to settling at 100, if you ask me. So again, what we're seeing right now, despite the fact that, things are in the red, this is just normal market activity. What we're looking at right now, you guys remember back in the day, the dial TVs where you had the antenna and then you had like the little circle antenna and you had to dial the number at the bottom and try to get the circle antenna to give you a clear picture. We're still trying to find a quote unquote clear picture, which is one of the reasons why they call this the quote unquote price discovery phase. Once we get settled, it'll settle at a newer high, and then the bounce will start pushing up to break that $80,000 ceiling. And then from there, 100,000 is coming. It's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Selling pressure can lead to rapid price declines, triggering a cascade of sell orders from other leveraged positions. As a result, 546 million worth of long positions were liquidated across the crypto market, with Bitcoin accounting for 220 million, CoinGlass data shows. These are signs that institutions are also exiting the market. The washout wiped $2 billion from open interest in both futures and perpetual contracts over the last 24 hours, according to Coin Analyze data. A futures contract is a legal agreement to buy or sell a security at a predetermined price at a specific future date, while a perpetual contract is similar but without an expiration date. This is leveraged longs having stopped their hunted, McMillan said, referring to a strategy where traders aim to squeeze others out of their positions by driving an asset's price up, triggering a so-called stop-loss order. He added that the open interest wipeout was a fair whack. Okay. So there's that. All right. So next, what we got is just a little summary of events that took place. And now we're going to start moving into talking about Solana. How many people are dealing with Solana right now? If you're somebody that deals with Solana, give me a thumbs up. If you don't deal with Solana, you don't have any Solana, then give me a thumbs down. I deal with Solana. Solana's been good to me. I bought a lot of Solana when FTX crashed. At that time, the price was like around 15 bucks. I'm gonna just let you guys in on a little bit of a spoiler alert. It's not 15 bucks anymore. Okay. This week in coins, Bitcoin hits an all-time high, then gets battered while Solana soars. Solana's still doing good. Bitcoin soared above $73,600 per coin before dropping below $69,000. But Solana made gains with its market cap hitting an all-time high. Okay. We're going to be talking about that Solana market cap as well. Now, here goes my question. What do you guys see as far as the future of Solana? Shout out to you, Law. What's good with it, bro? Do you all see Solana as a viable rival to Ethereum in the future? If there's anybody in here that sees Solana as a viable rival to Ethereum in the near future, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't see Solana as a viable rival to Ethereum, then give me a thumbs down. And just out of curiosity, who sees $5 Polygon in the future? Is $5 Polygon a possibility? Let me know what you guys think. Another roller coaster week for Bitcoin and the wider crypto market. First, the biggest digital coins priced by market cap seemed unstoppable when it comfortably traded above 70,000 at the start of the week. Then on Wednesday, the price of Bitcoin hit another all-time high of 73,737. And like what I don't think that people have, as much as people are into the cryptocurrency market, the way that people are still speculating about the possibility of a $100,000 Bitcoin, when we see how quickly Bitcoin's price has the potential to rise, and it's currently sitting at between $65,000 and $70,000, I don't think that people mentally are conceiving how close, with the acceleration of price increase that Bitcoin can have, I don't think that people actually have mentally accepted that $100,000 literally could happen any day now. It's not like we're back in 2017 when we're talking about $4,000 and the Bitcoin videos of $100,000 Bitcoin. See, like now we're in 2024 and now the $1 million Bitcoin videos are coming. You see what I'm saying? Like all of those Bitcoin will hit $100,000. What they don't want you to know about Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000. The era of those videos is about to be extinct. We're now moving into the $1 million YouTube or $1 million Bitcoin price era of videos, which is wild. It's wild. And I don't even think that the people that are making those videos, I don't even think that they've like they're making the videos, but it hasn't sank in yet. It's wild. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin at how many people remember how fast Bitcoin went from $4,000 to like $12,000? So imagine if we're sitting at 65 to 70, imagine a surge in price of that same magnitude where that will land Bitcoin at, which will happen. It's going to happen. People are not used to like that amount of value at all. Like that's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just damn near unfathomable. And this is why I compare the cryptocurrency market to outer space. Because when it comes to outer space, you're talking about speeds, distances, and sizes of just, you know, unfathomable size. Black holes with unfathomable mass, like numbers that we can write down, but you really in your human brain don't have the capacity to be able to conceptualize those vast amount of numbers. Like imagine how big the universe is, right? Like when it comes to like quantum theory and parallel universes and all that, they claim that there's like a Google parallel universes. Like nobody can conceptualize what a Google amount of anything looks like. How many people know what the number Google looks like? Because you guys know Google is actually a number. Somebody put in the comments section the numeric form of the number Google. Like, I think at some point when it comes to the cryptocurrency market, we'll be talking about Google, and like we won't be using decimals anymore to describe number, to describe money. We'll be using scientific notation because it'll be so big or so small. Look at this. Hold on real quick. Look at this. This is the number Google. The number Google is 1 followed by 100 zeros. Facts. Shout out to my man Ulaw. Rob is holding cryptocurrency school like back in the day. Bro, yeah, we getting it. We having a good time. Look at this. I want to show y'all a Google. Like imagine this amount of value in an object. Look at this. A Google is the largest is a large number. It's 10 to the 100 in decimal notation. It is written as 1 followed by 100 zeros. So this number right here is a Google. I'm gonna expand the screen so that y'all can see it here real quick. You guys see that? Like imagine that as an amount of money. Imagine what kind of container other than a digital container would be able to hold that amount of money. What does that look like? Like what would that look like? Like imagine the ocean, right? Like the ocean isn't even a Google amount of liquid, and like how vast the ocean is. So like just think about that. Like try to conceptualize that. That's almost as crazy as trying to conceptualize an absolute nothing scenario. That's one of the reasons why I'm actually looking forward to AI and artificial intelligence, because I want to see how it models some of this stuff. Shout out to Black Bitcoin Key. Black Bitcoin Key said Bitcoin can contain it. Right. Right, because it's digital. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, but things slowed down when hotter than expected inflation figures from February dropped. A stock and Bitcoin sell-off ensued, exacerbated by crypto fund management giant Grayscale moving assets to Coinbase, further pushing down on its price. Okay. Meme tokens, especially those running on Solana, like Bonk, were soaring throughout the week and made big gains. Now they've plunged again. Dogecoin was up after big billionaire tech entrepreneur Elon Musk hinted that his car company should accept a cryptocurrency from those wanting to buy vehicles. Now, here's the thing. Elon Musk does this all the time. Elon Musk always pumps the prices of Doge and Shiba. And honestly, like, he needs to start, I'm not trying to be funny, but he needs to start getting in trouble for that. Because that's price manipulation. He's done it multiple times. Like, he creates his own pump and dump situation. And now that he's on Twitter, it's even easier for him to do that. Now that he owns Twitter, it's even easier for him to do that. And I don't know why, like, people literally always like take it serious. The prices should have been stopped reacting to Elon Musk just making statements. But for whatever reason, it still shows that for whatever reason, people still like take what he says serious, even when there's like literally nothing behind it. So now here it says the 10th biggest cryptocurrency is now down big by nearly 15% over the past 7 days and is priced at 15 cents after having touched a high of 18 cents. Super popular dog whiff hat, which runs on Solana, had done well too. It's up 18% over 7 days, priced at $2.50, down from a midweek peak of $3.44. And like when it comes to some of those altcoins, like what is anybody ever even gonna do with those? Like, what are you gonna do with that coin right there? Like, what value does it offer? What value does it add? You know what I'm saying? Of the major cryptocurrencies, Solana is the winner. And I would not agree with that. I would actually say that Bitcoin is the winner. But I would say that Solana made some gains and made some improvements, but I wouldn't say that Solana is the overall winner. I would say that Bitcoin is the winner. You know what I'm saying? The 5th biggest digital asset has jumped by over 29% and is now priced at $188. The market cap also hit an all-time high of over $83.7 billion this week. Solana's price is still well below its November 2021 all-time high of $259.96. And I think that we'll be over that by the end of the year. We could be over that in the near future. The next Bitcoin bump could send Solana over that very easily if Solana maintains where it's sitting at right now. You know what I'm saying? So we got an article here from The Block. All right. And this article says Solana market cap hits all-time high. Price surges 10% amid meme coin fever. All right. And so now, shout out to the chat. We got a lot of people in the chat saying that there's a speculation that Solana could reach $300 by the end of the year. And we'll be tracking that. Again, I can't wait to be doing these streams in December and talking about this stuff, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to see where we're at. I can't wait to see where we're at. That's one of the reasons why I keep doing these. That's one of the reasons why I keep doing these streams. You know what I'm saying? Because I love like just paying attention to this stuff. I love paying attention to this stuff. Like it's so wild. You know what I'm saying? Solana's cryptocurrency market capitalization crossed 81 billion on Friday in Asia, surpassing its previous high of 77.4 billion in November of 2021. Solana blockchain recently reached its all-time high for daily number of new addresses on the network. The block's data dashboard showed, okay? Solana, which is still currently up, okay? As you guys can see, it's up 4.45%. Cryptocurrency market capitalization reached an all-time high of $81.1 billion on Friday in Asia, according to the block's price page. The market cap's previous high was around 77.9 billion in November of 2021. The price of Solana rose by 10% in the past 24 hours to $183.55 at around 9:30 a.m. Hong Kong time, while its all-time high price of $259.99 recorded in November of 2021 remains distant. So then we're gonna talk about the meme coin driven activity. Now, again, when it comes to like particular meme coins, I'm not saying that there's not opportunities. I don't mess with the only meme coins that I mess with is Dodge, and Shiba. I don't mess with meme coins all like that. You know what I'm saying? It's meme coin led chain activity that's driving Solana up. Benjamin Stanley, director of business development at Matrix Port, told The Block. Solana blockchain based meme coins have excelled in the markets in the past day. Dog with hat jumped 20%, Popcat surged 35%, and Bonk added 10%. Now, when it comes to these meme coins, these meme coins in many cases will probably crash extremely hard and not recover ever. Shout out to AB Promotions. You guys see what AB Promotions said? AB Promotions said Solana right now is $195.60. I wouldn't be surprised if within the next couple of days Solana crosses 200. But then it'll probably go back down and just kind of sit at 150 to 175. We'll see. Stanley said Solana-based Bonk and Dog with Hat are the first non-Ethereum meme tokens that hit billion-dollar market capitalization. I did not know that. How many people knew that? If you guys knew that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't know that, give me a thumbs down. I was very unaware of that. It means that there's clear usage for Solana, and the debate about non-EVM chains not being relevant, I think, is clearly settled, Stanley added. Coliseum co-founder Clay Robbins previously told The Block that meme coins are quote-unquote having a moment on Solana as they are fun and accessible. Earlier this week, Solana Network updated its record for the daily number of new addresses on the blockchain. The number of daily new addresses based on a 7-day moving average reached 738,040 on Wednesday, according to the block's data dashboard. Okay. Very exciting things happening with Solana. And if you ask me, Solana is actually being slept on. I think that Solana is another one that's extremely undervalued. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of crypto that, if you ask me, is very much so undervalued. Because again, when people are outside of the cryptocurrency market, I don't think people really know how much money is being generated and how much money is being put in, because there's just not a big focus on it. But when you start diving in and you start doing the research, you start looking at how prices used to be and the way things used to be and seeing how they are now, you start really kind of understanding how things are now and where they're going and where they can go. $190 billion wealth manager allocates green lights for 4 Bitcoin ETF allocators. Okay. How many people knew about that? Cetera to allow its financial pros to implement Bitcoin products offered by BlackRock, Fidelity, Invesco, Franklin Templeton into client portfolios. So as you guys can see, even with the price of Bitcoin falling, people are still into it. BlackRock, Fidelity, these places, they're not going away. They're actually still buying Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Wealth management firm Cetera Financial Group has approved 4 Bitcoin ETFs for advisors choosing to implement such funds into client portfolios. The San Diego-based firm said Thursday it would launch educational training to its financial professionals as they consider allocations to Bitcoin ETFs, marking the largest asset manager to make such a move. So now what I need people to see is that we're not in a situation where people are getting away from Bitcoin. We're in a situation where people that have lots of money are becoming more interested and more invested in Bitcoin, as evidenced by the massive amounts of cash inflows that we can see coming into the Bitcoin market. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Like there's evidence of this. Let me ask you guys this question. Who right now is walking away from Bitcoin? Who right now has come out and said, we're getting rid of all of our Bitcoin and we're moving into another direction? Who said that? Literally all of the conversations are we're doing what we can to get as much Bitcoin as we can and to become more invested in Bitcoin. There are literally no conversations taking place at this current moment with anybody of any significance saying we're doing what we can to exit and distance ourselves from Bitcoin. If anybody knows of anybody who is making those statements publicly, please leave them in the comment section. Okay. So now here it says Cetera has so far greenlit advisor allocations to 4 of the 10 U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs: BlackRock's iShare Bitcoin Trust, the Fidelity Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund, the Franklin Bitcoin ETF, and the Invesco Galaxy Bitcoin ETF. And we should follow all of these ETF funds. These stock tickers are tickers that we should be following. We should be on those, paying very close attention to them. Oh, and I don't know if I told you guys, I checked, but MicroStrategies, the MicroStrategy stock is actually available on Cash App, and it's available on Robinhood. And you don't have to buy like an entire, piece of MicroStrategy stock. You can buy like portions. But I remember last time we were talking about it, trying to figure out where you can get it at. That's places where you can get it at. Has anybody ever seen the price increase of MicroStrategy stock from 2023 to 2024? If you guys haven't looked at that number, you guys should, because it's pretty impressive. It's pretty damn impressive. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 25 people watching. I appreciate you guys. And we got 36 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 50, that would be great. Also, if you guys haven't shared the stream to your social media, please take a moment, share the stream to your social media. Hit the bell and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And also be sure to take a moment and hit that link that's pinned in the comment section and join the Discord so you don't miss any notifications. The company had $190 billion in assets under its management as of December of 2023. Now, you guys got to remember, all of these companies that are buying this stuff up right now, these are companies and their business and reputation is based on maintaining people's wealth. So these companies are not in the business and don't have a reputation of making people broke. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. These are people whose responsibility is to not only maintain people's wealth, but their responsibility and their reputation is based on growing people's wealth as well. And these are the people that are diving head first, trying to grab up all of this Bitcoin. And the reason why they're doing that is to provide more value and more satisfaction to their customers. Which is why we have to ask the question, when you hear people say negative stuff about Bitcoin, you have to ask yourself the question, who of any financial reputation is moving away from Bitcoin? What you actually see is people that have had a good financial reputation go back on their word where they initially said Bitcoin is nothing to now trying to fill their portfolios with it. That's actually what you see going on right now. Shout out to Michael R. What's good with you, bro? Okay. So now here it says we will continue to proactively evaluate the implications of Bitcoin ETFs and related products and modify our policies accordingly. And we look forward to partnering with our financial professionals to adopt Bitcoin ETFs when appropriate with their client. Matt Fries, Satira's head of investment products and partner solutions, said in a statement. Satira appeared to lean towards the Bitcoin ETFs offered by larger firms with the TradeFi bent. So as you guys can see, this lends itself to that question where I was asking who's walking in the opposite direction going away from Bitcoin. See, shout out to Michael R. I agree. That's literally what I do. I do the exact same thing. I don't touch my Bitcoin at all. I've learned my lesson about touching my cryptocurrency, and I don't touch my cryptocurrency. The only time I touch my cryptocurrency is when I buy it or when I transfer it from place to place. That's it. I never spend it. I don't touch it. I try to keep it locked up in either staking or whatever is going on, and I don't bother it. And I'd advise everybody else to do the same. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, I've had those moments where I did touch it back in the day, and then literally something went up like, a ridiculous amount of percentage points, and I was just like, really? Did this really just happen? So now here it says BlackRock's iShares lineup manages more than $2.7 trillion in assets. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do you have the ability to manage $2.7 trillion in assets if you have a reputation for messing people's money up? So now the reason why I'm asking that question is to say this. People that have $2.7 trillion in assets are trusting BlackRock to maintain and grow their wealth. And these people who they trust to maintain and grow their wealth are saying we can grow their wealth by utilizing Bitcoin as a growth vehicle. My question for everybody in the comment section is, what does that imply? Because that implies something, and it implies something that should not be ignored. It implies something that should be discussed. And my question for you guys is, what are the implications of that? Financial services giant Fidelity and Franklin Templeton have roughly 67 billion and 16 billions, respectively, in their U.S. ETF complexes. What does that mean? These providers, here, and it's funny, here we are. These providers have track records of successfully launching new product strategies and are well positioned with established resources, tools, and knowledge, Satira noted in its Thursday news release. Knowing that, those people decided to utilize Bitcoin. Let me ask you guys this question. Is there anybody managing trillions or billions of dollars that is actively walking away from Bitcoin? Is there anybody that's doing that? Shout out to my man Kurt. What's good with it, bro? Kurt said, already told you, use Fidelity. Facts. And see, these are the questions that we got to ask. And like, this isn't just a cryptocurrency talk. Like, we just sitting up here conversating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm backing the things that I'm saying, not with other YouTubers' videos. Now, like I said, I'd be more than happy to react to, you know, some YouTube cryptocurrency videos if you guys want. If you guys, you know what I'm saying, got some stuff that y'all want to talk about, or, you know what I'm saying, you see some content that you're interested in, just get it to me and we can do that. But all of my cryptocurrency content is literally data based. It's all based on the raw data. It's not based on reacting to a reaction. You know what I'm saying? It's not a YouTuber citing other YouTubers as fact. And if you ask me, that's important for information integrity purposes. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the 10 US spot Bitcoin ETFs have tallied nearly $12 billion. It's ridiculous. The 10 US spot Bitcoin ETFs have tallied nearly $12 billion of net inflows in the first 9 weeks of trading, according to BitMEX research data. That is wild. Here's my question for everybody. Can anybody show me other assets that are moving money like that? Now, shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions says, what do you think about people like us with our own wallet and people who feel comfortable with ETFs? I think that the people that are comfortable with the ETF are people that have traditionally had a finance company or an investment house manage their assets, and that's simply just the way that we're looking at it, or that's simply the way that they're looking at it. People that have been in the cryptocurrency market for a while are a little bit more cryptocurrency and blockchain savvy. So I'd expect them to do all of their own work as far as managing, storing, you know what I'm saying? So like you got, if you ask me, you got like two populations of cryptocurrency people. You got like the traditional asset transitioners, and then you have the hardcore HODL people, which I would consider anybody that's been in cryptocurrency, like, you know what I'm saying, since at the least 2017. Most of us are hardcore, and we're not going to be really, you know, looking for anybody else to manage our assets as far as cryptocurrency goes. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of those people that are getting those ETFs are also old money, and they're probably not real tech savvy. They probably are terrified of simply sending money using wallet addresses, because those long wallet addresses and QR codes are intimidating to them. So they probably would just, they probably would see the value in having somebody who's trained to do that, deal with it, because they probably look at that like a nuclear button that could probably just blow up at any moment. If they send it to the wrong address, there goes all my money. You know what I'm saying? They haven't really gotten the grasp of copying and pasting. You know what I'm saying? Copying and pasting is kind of scary, you know, so they'll pay somebody some money to do that for them. It's kind of like a mechanic, you know what I'm saying? More than likely, like a mechanic is going to fix his own car. Like a mechanic's not really going to take a car to another mechanic unless it's something that they don't really have a specialty in. You know what I'm saying? You know, we've been dealing with this, so we're going to do it because we know how. There's no need. We don't have a need for a BlackRock or something like that. And honestly, many of us are people who felt that BlackRock and companies like that, one of the main reasons why initially people were holding it was to prevent BlackRock and them from doing what they're doing now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kirk. Kirk says, facts. I use Fidelity for stocks and transfer crypto out of Coinbase to keep my own wallets. Yeah, facts. See, because that's just second nature for us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's for us, it's just as simple as sending a Cash App or something. Other people, that can be very foreign and very intimidating too. And the thought of losing the massive amounts of money that they probably could potentially lose on the blockchain is rightfully frightening. You know what I'm saying? I get that. You know what I'm saying? I get that. So now here it says, despite its roughly $11.7 billion of net outflows, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust ETF leads the category with more than $26 billion in assets. IBIT and FBTC are next with about $15.9 billion and $9.2 billion respectively. Centra chose not to yet approve GBTC, which carries a 1.5% fee that is substantially higher than competitors. For now, it also left out access to ARK21 shares Bitcoin ETF, which is ARKB, and the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF, BITB. Those two funds have significantly higher assets under management than EZBC and BTCO, with each above $2 billion. Centra's guidance around Bitcoin ETF comes as industry watchers say more wealth. Look at this. More wealth managers and investment platforms are likely to unlock the use of such products for allocators in the coming months. Now, here's my question. Why? Why are they doing that? They're doing that to increase availability. They're also doing that to be able to start building up a record of saying, look at how much value we created with Bitcoin. Look at how we grew your portfolio. Most normal people are literally not accustomed to seeing cryptocurrency returns. It's frightening for some people. You guys remember on Money Talks when Chris Tucker showed his girlfriend that whole handful of diamonds he had, and she was like, oh, you done went and messed up now. Look at all these damn diamonds. That's wrong. And Chris Tucker was like, this is right. Most people are like Chris Tucker's girlfriend. Like, people actually look at the increases in the cryptocurrency market, and it's the opposite, where like in stock, you're scared of losing your money. People actually get scared. Like when you look at like Ethereum over like 5 years and you see like that has gained like 5,000%, the human brain is not accustomed to that. So as soon as you see that, you immediately start thinking worst case scenario. But what's interesting about it is that literally like Ethereum or Bitcoin or like none of that stuff, literally like it's never just went down to zero from thousands of dollars ever. And so like you have people that say like you could wake up one day and it'll be worth nothing. Like actually at this point, that's extremely not likely. There's no trend in 15 years that shows that when you wake up, Bitcoin will be worth $0. All of the fear that they attribute to Bitcoin is literally things that have actually happened with fiat currencies around the world. There are people that woke up and the currency of their country was worth $0, and then you ended up having to spend $10,000 on a bag of bread. That's actually happened with world currencies before. But ironically, it hasn't happened with Bitcoin, and yet there's people out there that literally say that this is going to happen. But there's no trend that supports that that's going to happen. But there are trends that support that you could literally wake up in your country's fiat currency be worth absolutely zero. like hyperinflation and currency devaluation has literally happened in multiple regions of the world. It's literally happened. Shout out to Soas Muscle Pain. Make sure you guys show Soas Muscle Pain some love. Throw some like enforcers in the chat. So now here's my question. You got to ask this question. Why do people attribute things that have never happened with Bitcoin to Bitcoin and don't attribute things that have happened to national fiat currencies to national fiat currencies? Why is that? Like, we have to ask that. We have to ask these questions and break that down. Because if you ask me, like, that's important. Because what it shows is how the human mind doesn't necessarily process the information that's in front of it properly. To me, being scared of Bitcoin is almost as interesting as being scared to fly. There's some people who say, I'm scared to fly. When I hear people say that, I sit back and look at them. And then I ask them, do you have a car sitting in the parking lot? And they'll say, yeah. And I'll say, how many times have you heard about a car accident? They'll say, I drove past one on the way to get here. But you're going to get in your car and drive somewhere else from here, right? Then they say, yeah, of course. When's the last time you heard of a plane accident? I don't know. But you're not scared of driving. You can't tell me when the last time you heard of a plane accident, but you drove past a car accident on the way here, and yet you're telling me you're terrified of flying. I don't know how that makes sense. And I'm glad I have a brain where those kind of conflicts make me uncomfortable, because I couldn't walk around carrying that kind of conflict. Like that wouldn't make any sense. I couldn't sit there and tell somebody that. So, like, you're scared of Bitcoin, but all of the negative things that fiat currency has done, Bitcoin has never done. But you use fiat currency and hold your wealth in fiat currency literally every day. Here's my question to anybody in the comment section. Is there anybody in the comment section that can make sense of that? So now here it says Bloomberg reported last month that Carson Group, a Nebraska-based registered investment advisor, greenlit the use of 4 Bitcoin ETFs. See that? So you got these investment firms all over the place greenlighting the use of these Bitcoin financial products. Other similarly sized RIAs have chosen not to, such as Savant Wealth Management. The firm, which manages about $25 billion in assets, told Blockworth last month that it had no plans to approve the Bitcoin ETFs, noting, quote unquote, we prefer to work with asset classes that can provide us with a good basis for understanding the expected return. I mean, there's literally plenty of tools out here that can help you understand the expected return of Bitcoin. There's literally no excuse for you to use that as an excuse. In terms of financial giants making the Bitcoin funds available, a Wells Fargo spokesperson confirmed to Blockworks that the Bitcoin ETFs are available for unsolicited purchases through one of the firm's advisors or through its online Wells Trade platform. Vanguard, however, does not allow for such funds to trade on its brokerage platform, calling the investment case for crypto weak. That's interesting. Let me ask you guys this question. How many people think that the investment case for crypto is weak? Now, what evidence shows that the investment case for crypto is weak? Does anybody have any evidence or any information that validates, quote unquote, case for investing in cryptocurrency is weak? I don't know how somebody can say that with a straight face. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Let's see something real quick. My bad, y'all. Bitcoin futures basis is a bullish indicator for the market, analysts say. Okay. The elevated Bitcoin futures basis to levels not seen since late 2021 is seen as a bullish indicator for the Bitcoin market, an analyst said. So I want you guys to understand also where we are. We're at a point where we're dealing with Bitcoin. The Bitcoin price has fallen somewhat significantly, and analysts are still saying that we're in a bull market. We're not even in a bear market yet. That's wild. That's something that you don't see very often either. Let me ask you guys this. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Let me know what you guys think. The Bitcoin futures basis, the difference between the future and spot price, has increased to levels not seen since the digital asset's previous all-time high of over $68,000 in late 2021. The basis is currently 18% to 25% annualized, which are values we have only seen in 2021. Derbit Chief Commercial Officer Luck Surgers told the Block. Surgers added that the elevated annualized basis allows derivative traders to lock in significant returns by buying spot Bitcoin and selling nominally equivalent futures contracts at a higher price simultaneously. This trade provides a dollar gain that can be realized at expiration, regardless of the Bitcoin's fluctuating value. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why they call these derivatives, because they derive their value from the price of Bitcoin or an expected Bitcoin price. You know what I'm saying? It's not a direct investment in Bitcoin. Streegers said the disparity between the spot price of Bitcoin and its futures price reflects the growing market momentum since the approval of ETFs in January and the expectation regarding the impact of the Bitcoin halving. The fact that this yield is so incredibly high is a very bullish indicator and driven by the daily new money flowing into the system because of spot Bitcoin ETF approval and the expected impact of the Bitcoin halving, he said. Now, here's my thing, right? Even if the Bitcoin halving doesn't really create the effect that people are expecting to, just simply like the hype of it is going to cause a sudden price surge that'll probably crash a little bit in the short term. When the Bitcoin halving occurs, it's going to be very wild. And then from there will be astronomical changes, more than likely, to your cryptocurrency wallet that you've never seen before. You will have never seen things like this in your life. It'll be like watching a celestial event. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions says, Rob, what do you think about the Fed holding the rate until the election? Will that affect crypto? If they don't increase the interest rate, I think that that'll definitely have a positive effect on the crypto market, the same way it'll probably have a positive effect on every market, which means that it'll just compile onto the skyrocketing prices. If more money goes into these ETFs, if the Bitcoin halving does what it's expected to do, and if the interest rates don't raise any, I can't wait to the streams in November and December. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm telling you, I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, in the Bitcoin options market, Streegers noted an increased number of outstanding calls compared to puts leading up to the end of March expiry. Overall, the put call ratio for Bitcoin is now 0.59, so 6 puts for every 10 calls, while moving further out. For June, this drops to 0.32, so only 3 puts per every 10 calls, Streegers told the block. This ratio, all right, this ratio suggests a higher preference for calls over puts in the Bitcoin market, can indicate that bullish sentiment still dominates among derivative traders. What does that mean? What that means is that people still are foreseeing a substantial price increase in Bitcoin, and they're trying to hedge that risk to be able to freeze in time the Bitcoin price as it stands right now, to be able to purchase when Bitcoin gets when Bitcoin skyrockets. Okay. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys have not smashed the like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell. And also, if you haven't shared the stream, please share the stream to your social media. Bro, exactly. Black Free Thinker says, who's goofy enough to buy a put option against Bitcoin? Right. Shout out to John Guillory. What's good with it, bro? Right. But as you can see, bro, there's still people that are out there doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now pay attention to this ratio. A put call option ratio below 1 indicates that the call volume exceeds the put volume. It is assumed that a trader who buys call options is implicitly bullish on the market, while a put buyer is bearish. According to the block's data dashboard, today's Bitcoin put call ratio is 0.58% on Deribit, which has about 90% of all Bitcoin options open interest. Okay. So now what they're saying is that Bitcoin experienced a price correction. Over the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has pulled back from a new all-time high of above $73,000, which was posted in early day trading on Thursday. Over the past day, the price correction has led to a substantial liquidation of long positions on centralized exchanges. This volatility resulted in the liquidation of more than 278 million in Bitcoin positions, with the majority, 225 million, being longs, according to CoinGlass data. The largest digital asset by market cap is now changing hands for $68,446 at 10 o'clock Eastern time, according to the block's price page. The GM30 index, representing a selection of the top 30 cryptocurrencies, has decreased by 4.48% to $152.83 in the last 24 hours. Okay. So again, even with the price of Bitcoin decreasing slightly, the market is still bullish, which is wild. Which is wild. Shout out to Kirk. Kirk says short-term options in this environment can be profitable, but it gets tricky. Definitely not for me. Yeah, facts. That right there, that's more of a win, lose, or rugs bag right there. Shout out to my man, win, lose, or rug. You know what I'm saying? So How many people ever heard of the Xverse wallet? Now, you know, Kurt, they also have like programs and bots that can do that kind of fast trading. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing it on your own by hand, yeah, you're gonna be stuck to the phone all day. Your iPhone screen time gonna be up like 300%. Your iPhone screen time is gonna be up. It's gonna be looking like a Bitcoin run. The percentage. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man Phil Mayo with the $10 super chat. Make sure y'all show him some love. Please throw some flames, radiation emojis, duck emojis in the chat. Definitely appreciate you, bro. You are the third stream sponsor, my man. Shout out to you. Bitcoin runes are coming. Now, here's my question. What the hell is a Bitcoin rune? What's a what's a Bitcoin rune? Anybody know? And Xverse wallet is getting ready ahead of the mainnet rolling out at the halving. Or I'm sorry, ahead of the mainnet rollout at the halving. Bitcoin wallet Xverse has added testnet support for the runes fungible token standard. All right. BRC20 tokens have been the talk of the Bitcoin space over the last year as the ordinals protocol that lets users inscribe NFT-like assets on the chain could also be used to launch fungible tokens. But a new Bitcoin fungible token standard called Runes is on the horizon, and leading wallet Xverse is gearing up to support it. The Runes protocol, developed by Ordinal's protocol creator Casey Rodarmor, is designed to provide a more efficient way to mint and transact fungible tokens deployed on Bitcoin. The protocol is set to debut on mainnet alongside the Bitcoin halving in April. On Thursday, Xverse announced that it had added testnet support for Runes as it anticipates next month's mainnet launch. Xverse users will be able to interact with Runes token and Runes base app on testnet in the meantime, with Xverse planning to support Runes on mainnet as soon as the protocol is deployed. We're very excited to be the first wallet that offers full support for the highly anticipated Runes protocol, Xverse founder and CEO Ken Liao said in a release. With this testnet support launch, builders can start testing their Runes apps and seed the growth of a new Bitcoin Layer 1 ecosystem. Okay. Now, y'all see these these wallets right here? This is what y'all wallets going to be looking like. This is what the wallet's going to be looking like when we're doing these live streams in by Christmas. By Christmas time, the cryptocurrency community and the cryptocurrency market is going to be beyond lit. It's going to be a kind of lit that people have never seen before. It's going to be a once in a lifetime thing. You know what I'm saying? The BRC20 token standard, built on top of the Ordinals protocol, started off as an experiment that quickly exploded in interest, yielding multiple tokens that sit in the top 100 most valuable cryptocurrencies by market cap. But there have been issues along the way, Liao told Decrypt. BRC20 token transactions require a separate Ordinals inscription for each action, which has flooded the network. Plus, they yield unspent transaction outputs that pile up on Bitcoin nodes. There have also been inconsistencies between various BRC20 token indexers, which track how many tokens have been minted, potentially causing issues for traders and platforms. Many of the prominent BRC20 developers and platforms have attempted to band together to rectify such issues, as with the recently announced Layer 1 Foundation. But the Runes protocol, which has Ordinals creator Rodarmor's own official stamp, claims to deliver a more efficient and elegant riff on the same concept, and Runes won't need an indexer. The protocol is set to launch to mainnet the same time as next month's halving, the event that happens approximately every 4 years and cuts the amount of Bitcoin miners rewards in half. So the Bitcoin halving comes damn near like every leap year. Do you guys think that that's an accident, or do you think that that's done on, you know what I'm saying, like that's done on purpose? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got some super chats that your boy got to acknowledge real quick. Shout out to Kirk. Make sure you guys show him some love, throw some flames, radiation emoji in the chat. Kurt says, went back through my super chats and matched on my crypto portfolio, adding this to the bag. BLR gains. That's what I'm talking about. Make sure y'all do that. Now, Miss Nisi about to buy Miss Nisi about to buy herself damn near a whole Solana token when she matched her you know what I'm saying, super chat with the cryptocurrency purchase. Shout out to Miss Nisi with the $100 super chat. Make sure y'all show her some big love. Throw some flames, radiation emoji, ducks, and every damn thing else in the chat for Miss Nisi with the $100 super chat. She says, your blessings, Rob. I definitely appreciate it, Miss Nisi, and I appreciate you too. Thank you very much. Make sure you guys show Miss Nisi some love. Now make sure you throw down something on some Bitcoin and don't touch it. Don't touch it. That's gonna be, now I'm telling you, when we do the end of the year stack live stream, when we do the end of the year stack live stream, woo, woo, that's gonna be crazy. Everybody gonna be balling. Everybody gonna be balling. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Xverse already supports an array of Bitcoin-related assets and linked protocols, including ordinals, BRC20 tokens, rare Satoshis, and the Stack Layer 2 network. Leao said that it would also be the first Bitcoin wallet that enabled users to connect a website akin to MetaMask on Ethereum to interact with apps. Adding Rune's support initially on testnet, but eventually on mainnet, is the next step in embracing all that Bitcoin has to offer amid the ecosystem's rapid expansion over the last year plus. Elizabeth Olsen, Xverse head of growth, told Decrypt that she believes that Runes being a part of Rod Armor's concept for Bitcoin evolution will be the key for the protocol's success. His version of how he's seeing this come together, she said. Obviously, ordinals have been a huge success, so I would imagine that Runes will be just as big, if not bigger, than BRC20 tokens. Okay. So again, there's more people walking into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency than there are people walking away from it. Okay. So let me see. There's this. I'm actually gonna save that and talk about that another time. Let me see. Hold on. Let me just organize these real quick. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at this article here from the block. Okay. We're gonna take a look at this article here from the block to get an idea of where things are going. Bernstein predicts the crypto market cap could grow to $7.5 trillion by the end of 2025. Now, that's just next year. Okay? That's just next year. Now, my question for you guys is, if the cryptocurrency market grows to $7.5 trillion by the end of 2025, What does that do to Bitcoin's price? What kind of crypto prices will we be seeing if that occurs? And here's another question. How likely is that to occur? I think it's pretty likely. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even see this, but shout out to Miss Nisi. Make sure you guys show Miss Nisi some love for being a member for 6 months. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to the green team. You guys make it happen. Make sure y'all show Miss Nisi some love and throw some flames and radiation emoji in the chat for Miss Nisi. And also shout out to the members. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Discord gang. Now, and I got to agree with AB Promotions. Now, this is where we're going to be talking about those possibilities of quote unquote $1 million Bitcoin, which is crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about. How crazy is this to think about? That's just crazy. That's just wild. You know what I'm saying? Analysts at Bernstein have projected the overall crypto market cap could surge threefold to 7.5 trillion by the end of 2025. So let me just I'm gonna grab the calculator out. So we know that Bitcoin is the majority of the cryptocurrency market cap, right? So if the market cap increases threefold, it would be safe to say that Bitcoin's price would probably at the very least increase threefold. So we're just going to use a round number. Right now, Bitcoin is $68,000. So 68,000 times 3, that would give, for the most part, a guaranteed stable price of $200,000 per Bitcoin. At that point, more than likely, Ethereum would probably be at or approaching $10,000. And at that point, I think that everybody, like, people would just kind of be, I don't know, people would just be kind of just, where's this going to go next? Which is literally where I've been the entire time since I've, you know what I'm saying, been observing cryptocurrency. It's literally, I've been in a constant state of, where's this going to go next? Okay. So now here it says, growth will be led by the Bitcoin and Ethereum ecosystems amid unprecedented institutional adoption, the analyst said, which this institutional adoption is exactly what you're seeing right now, like with these ETFs and these things being applied to financial products. Okay. Analysts at Bernstein have projected that the overall cryptocurrency market capitalization could surge threefold to 7.5 trillion by the end of 2025. The growth, according to Bernstein analysts, can come with unprecedented institutional adoption of cryptocurrency. We can expect total crypto market cap to reach, look at this, 7.5 trillion by 2025 versus 2.6 trillion today, led by Bitcoin, which they're assuming will be at $3 trillion on its own by 2025. $3 trillion is what we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? Ethereum ecosystem, which is at $1.8 trillion by 2025, they're expecting, and leading blockchains, Solana, AVAX, 1.4 trillion by 2025. Bernstein analyst Gautam Changui and Makai Sapra wrote in a note to clients on Thursday. Blockchain gaming is going to be the consumer killer app, they added. How many people know about blockchain gaming? If you guys are aware of blockchain gaming, give me a thumbs up. If you guys are not aware of blockchain gaming, give me a thumbs down. Shingani and Sapra forecast continues success for new U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF traded funds, with assets under management rising fivefold from the current 60 billion to 300 billion by 2025. Now, these are the charts that they expect. Okay. Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention to this. How many people own stock in Robinhood? If you own stock in Robinhood, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you guys do not own stock in Robinhood, give me a thumbs down. And you're going to see why I'm asking this question in a minute. You're going to see why I'm asking this question in a minute. Robinhood is riding on the crypto comeback arc. The Bernstein analyst also initiated coverage on Robinhood stock with an outperform rating. So one stock that we need to be paying attention to. What are the stocks that we need to be paying attention to? We talked about this before. MicroStrategies, right? We need to put Robinhood on the list. And we need to put those Bitcoin ETFs on the list. Shout out to Trickbag Shorty and Coinbase too. We need to be keeping a close eye on them bad boys. Dip activity. You feel me? If you guys agree that those stocks would not be a bad idea for dip activity, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that they'd be a good idea for dip activity, give me a thumbs down. The analysts projected a price target of $30, 80% to the upside, suggesting that it was riding on the crypto comeback arc. And I wouldn't doubt that. Anticipating a monster of a crypto cycle over 2024 and 2025, the analysts expect the fintech app, which boasts 11 million active traders, to grow its crypto revenues ninefold, 5 times the 2025 consensus view. We expect 2025 to be the inflection year for full positive net income of $910 million versus loss of $554 million in 2023, they added. Shares in the stock and crypto trading app closed at $17.16 on Wednesday, gaining nearly 5% for the day and 46% over the past month, according to TradingView. So now here's my question. How many people knew that Robinhood gained 46% in value over the last month? That's not bad. That's not a bad return. That's not a bad return at all. Meanwhile, the GM30 index, representing a selection of the top 30 cryptocurrencies, increased by 0.5 to $162.13 over the past 24 hours. On Monday, the Bernstein analysts argued that Bitcoin miners remain the best equity proxy to Bitcoin as the cryptocurrency heads toward an ultimate price target of $150,000 this cycle. So we're going to see, we are going to see $150,000 Bitcoin. It's just a matter of when. It's just a matter of when we see it. Now, here's my question. When we see it, who's going to actually believe it? Because I'm not even going to, it's still hard for me to see. You guys don't understand. Like, I've been investing in cryptocurrency since 2017, and I've been watching the market since 2017. It's still hard for me to fathom the price that Bitcoin is right now. Literally, mathematically, everything makes sense. However, visualizing it is still very trippy. I'll tell you what, it's very trippy to see what a $1,000 investment in Solana turns into when you wake up and you bought $1,000 worth of Solana at $13 a token, and it just happens to be at close to $200 now. That's trippy. That's not something that you see every day. You know what I'm saying? Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Solana market cap hits an all-time high as Solana price tops 185. And it doesn't look like Solana is going to be slowing down anytime soon. It doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. I don't even care about none of this right now. I want to see where Solana is going to be at Christmas. Because I got this feeling that, like, Ethereum is about to, like, it almost has been solidified that, you know, Ethereum is number 2. But I think that Ethereum is working its way towards lodging itself in as a distinct number 2. And I think Solana is about to be that cryptocurrency asset that moves into that space that Ethereum is exiting, which is gonna just be crazy. It's like Bitcoin is the OG. You know what I'm saying? Ethereum is like the sergeant at arms that's just about to hit OG status. So, like, the next group is like, we got the next sergeant at arms coming, and I'm telling you, I think it's going to be Solana. It's going to be either Solana or Polygon. Which, again, just, you know, just crazy. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just these don't ever sell any of your cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? If you've got a significant amount of cryptocurrency, never ever get rid of it. Always make sure that you got a contingency plan of whoever you're going to pass it down to. Make sure that they have full access to it. Shout out to Trickback Shorty. Trickback Shorty said, I got some towel. That was going crazy this year. Yeah, it was. Facts. I've been hearing about Chainlink for a long time, and people saying that that's going crazy. I might actually look into it and see what it's hitting for. I'm see what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm like laser focused on Bitcoin, and I'm laser focused on Ethereum too. For real. You know what I'm saying? I'm laser focused on Bitcoin, and I'm laser focused on Ethereum. Solana's market cap is surging and hit an all-time new high late Friday as Solana hits its highest price since December of 2021. The market cap of Solana hit an all-time high late Friday, with CoinGecko data showing that it reached a peak of over $82 billion. It has since dropped slightly to about $80.5 billion, although still remains above the 2021 peak levels. Okay. But the price of Solana is still well below its all-time November 2021 high of $259.96. That's because more coins are in the market now compared to 2021, boosting the total market cap to new highs. Solana is currently trading for $181, up nearly 9% in 24 hours and 21% over the past 7 days. I want you 21% over the past 7 days is crazy. Yeah, and I gotta agree with Kirk. Chainlink and Ergo are slept on, and ADA best bang for the buck. I agree too. And honestly, I've said this before. Cardano, if you ask me, is highly underpriced, is also highly underrated. And I think that it's going to have an interesting breakout point. When people once there's more people looking into cryptocurrency and people discover the projects that are out there, it's coming. Oh yeah, no doubt. As I get some information about the wallets, AB, we definitely are gonna do like some deep dives into the wallets and talk about the wallets that are good wallets. Of the top 20 coins and tokens, Solana is the best performer over the past day, and today's peak is its highest price seen since December of 2021. Solana Mania came back unexpectedly last year. The blockchain, which is billed as a faster, cheaper competitor to Ethereum, was a favorite of the collapsed crypto brand FTX. The failed exchange was heavily involved in the project and its token Solana, and the price plummeted dramatically at the end of 2022. You guys remember that? What was that dude's name? Sam Bankman-Fried or something like that? But I kept telling people the only reason Solana tanked was not because Solana didn't have any integrity or any type of issue with Solana itself. The reason why Solana tanked was because FTX used to be highly associated with Solana. Solana itself is not failing, and it's not. I don't think that it's gonna fail. That's why when I saw it drop down as low as it dropped, man, I'm like, man, I'm throwing it all out there, man. I'm getting this shit because it's just a matter of time before it goes back up. And look where we are right now. Look where we are right now with the Solana. You know what I'm saying? Some crypto observers thought that the trial of criminal ex-boss Sam Bankman-Fried and the collapse of his crypto empire would lead to the downfall of the token and its network. Now, here's my question. Why? Why would that, to me, like that kind of assumption, it just doesn't make sense. That like Solana was not FTX's token. Solana was not a project of FTX. FTX, that's just like if Elon Musk, something happened with Twitter and like the price of Dogecoin and the price of Dogecoin and the price of Shiba reacted because of something with Elon. Those aren't Elon's coins. So you know that the price reacting to that is just static. Like I don't understand why the price reacted like that. Which I'm glad that it did. You know what I'm saying? But it just sometimes you have to remember that when it comes to like the stock market, when it comes to economy, when it comes to all of these things, a lot of these things are based on buyer behavior. And one thing that you have to understand about humans is that, you know, there's a threshold of mathematics that can predict a lot of things that people do. But in most cases, people are unpredictable and illogical. One of the only predictable things about people is the unpredictability of people. That's one of the only guaranteed things about people. One of the most predictable things about people is the unpredictability of people. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, instead, Solana started to boom again last November for a number of reasons. Developers thought it was fast and cheap. Major brands like Shopify and Visa wanted to use its blockchain, and meme coin traders flocked to the chain thanks to its low fees. Solana is now the 5th biggest digital asset by market cap, which is important. This is huge. This is huge. You know what I'm saying? Interest in its network has surged during the recent rise in crypto prices, particularly as new meme tokens such as Bonk and Dogwifat gain popularity. And again, Solana's not going anywhere, in my opinion. I don't see any evidence that supports making an assumption that Solana is going somewhere other than to the moon. So this next article here is going to ask the question, and it's going to ask a question that we've been repeatedly asking throughout this live stream. And that question is, Solana price hits multi-year high. Is $200 next? I believe so. The popular price that we talked about in the chat is that most people think that Solana will hit $300 by the end of the year. I believe that Solana will probably briefly go above $300 before the end of the year. I'm basing all of these overperformances on Bitcoin halving hysteria. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin is the underlying force in the cryptocurrency market that keeps all cryptocurrencies afloat, if you ask me. And for the most part, any effects that occur with Bitcoin are never not felt by the rest of the cryptocurrency world. So if Bitcoin just has this ridiculous, tremendous boost, everything else is going to have a ridiculous, tremendous boost. Like Bitcoin is equivalent to the oxygen of the cryptocurrency space, if you ask me. Like if cryptocurrency is a community, Bitcoin is like this combination of oxygen and water that's necessary for life. So, you know, in a situation where if we had pure air and good, clean, alkaline water, every human would be great. But if all the water dried up and there was no more O2 molecules, then literally like civilization would instantaneously crash. Bitcoin is the water and air of cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? So it says Solana's price rise since the end of February has resulted in a 70% rally for the altcoin. The present market conditions suggest that Solana is not too late to qualify as an investment and can still offer significant profits. The Sharpe ratio of the asset is currently 5.37, the highest noted since December of 2023. The Sharpe ratio measures the risk-adjusted return of a cryptocurrency investment or portfolio. It compares the excess return of the cryptocurrency above a risk-free rate to its volatility. All right, so this is like some type of adjusted beta measurement for crypto. Okay. A higher Sharpe ratio suggests better risk-adjusted returns, indicating that the investment provides more return for the amount of risk taken. Nevertheless, the volatility of the market must also be taken into consideration in addition to the Sharpe ratio. However, the momentum building in the market aligns with the rewards. Investors are optimistic about future gains as seen by the chart. The weighted sentiment indicator spikes when the social volume is high and the vast majority of the messages in it are simultaneously very positive, thus indicating, with all indicators pointing towards an increase, the chances of the same seem high. Solana price prediction. All right, so this is where we are here. The road to $200. So what we're going to be looking at now is we're going to be looking at the pathway to a $200 Solana token, which is literally just a couple dollars away. Shout out to Trick Bag Shorty. Trick Bag Shorty said, if Bitcoin had a theme song, it would be Give Me Some Mo by Busta Rhymes. Facts. If y'all agree with Trick Bag Shorty, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, you got to be careful with Busta Rhymes, though, because he'd be sitting up there saying tropical people are actually who Satoshi is. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes would be like, oh, yeah, you know us tropical people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we do is program computer languages. You know what I'm saying? We program these computers out here because the tropical peoples are smart. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we manage the monies real good, you know, because we come from nothing. You know what I'm saying? We come from nothing. So it's what we do. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Solana price trading at $170 is close to breaking the $200 mark. And shout out to AB Promotions. He put the price in earlier. It's like $190 some right now. You know what I'm saying? We had close to $190. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, as far as the $200 mark, which is why I wouldn't even be writing articles about $200 mark Solana. If I was these people, I'd be writing about the pathway to 300. But, you know, if they're going to pay you for it, may as well. Solana price trading at $170 is close to breaching the $200 mark, having already broken past such resistance levels. The altcoin is on the verge of breaching the 50% Fibonacci retracement of $248 to $89. This level represents a crucial bullish flip towards the price action. Once this line is flipped into a support floor, Solana will have the bullish momentum necessary to rally further. Okay. However, if the breach fails, Solana's price could move downward and reverse the trend, as the relative strength index is in the overbought zone. Okay. So if the relative strength index is in the overbought zone, then we can expect more than likely a correction and the price to probably slightly decrease. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we can expect. This indicator is a momentum oscillator that measures the speed and change of price movements. It indicates an asset's overbought or oversold conditions. High RSI values suggest overbought conditions, while low values suggest oversold conditions, potentially signaling price reversals. All right. So these ratios are extremely important to pay attention to, because these ratios, this right here is the reason why when you hear those price predictions, many of the price predictions are the same, because these are the numbers that are the trends that these calculations are based on. Okay. These are the numbers that the trends of these calculations are based on. That right there is why when you hear all these different people saying 150,000, 100,000, 300,000, they're getting it based on these calculations. These numbers are not coming out of the clear blue sky. Okay. So I know a lot of times people think that, like, with the cryptocurrency market, that like a lot of this stuff is just made up, and you know what I'm saying? Like, people just come up with this stuff off the cuff and it's just nonsense. That's not true. They literally calculate financial ratios for most assets. And we're going to be talking about more assets than just cryptocurrency. It's just that cryptocurrency is so exciting right now. And I'm not even going to lie, like I'm kind of like locked in, focused on this. So I got to try to at least do a stream or two about this stuff every couple of days. But we're going to be talking about other stuff too. Like I said, one of the things that I wanted to do with the channels moving forward is start talking about more global based news topics. And this will lead into them. You know what I'm saying? Solana defies crypto downturn with its major meme coins posting double-digit gains. So if you guys, most of everybody in here is brilliant. So shout out to y'all for being brilliant people. But if you just haven't got what's been going on here in the last about hour and 15 minutes, Solana is doing the damn thing, just to summarize. Okay. Solana is continuing on its 24-hour rally despite a pullback by the wider cryptocurrency market. The combined cryptocurrency market cap experienced a downturn of over 2% in the past day. Okay. Solana has sustained its rally over the past 24 hours. According to the block's price page, Solana, the native token of the Solana network, experienced a 5% increase in the past 24 hours, while the broader cryptocurrency market capitalization experienced a downturn of over 2% in the past day. The altcoin is defying the downtrend and maintaining its weekly rally. Now, this is interesting, right? Because one thing that people need to start doing is people need to start seeing how Solana behaves in relation to the other cryptocurrencies at all times. And if there's a pattern that Solana moves opposite to the trends of the rest of the cryptocurrency market, you might have discovered a stabilizing diversification asset for your cryptocurrency portfolio. You know what I'm saying? That could be it. Shout out to Jada Informant. What's good with it, bro? Okay. Solana-based meme coins are driving the market activity. So, you know, for the most part, we talked about these Solana-based meme coin activities. You know what I'm saying? Now, how many people are hip to BNB coin? Believe it or not, BNB used to be like 50 cents. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like in the 500s now. It's ridiculous. It was actually like over 600 just a couple of days ago. Another altcoin sustaining its rally in the face of a broader crypto pullback is BNB. The Binance Exchange token has posted a more muted 1% increase in the past 24 hours. QCP capital analysts have observed a notable trend of capital rotation from Bitcoin and Ether into large cap altcoins, highlighting significant overnight increases in Solana and BNB. Why do you think that they chose Solana and BNB to invest their money into? An interesting observation is the rotation of capital into large cap altcoins, with Solana and BNB significantly higher overnight. BNB in particular has managed to create a virtuous self-reinforcing cycle through its launch pool as BNB stackers sell their hefty airdrops and buy even more BNB to compound their returns for the next launch pool release, QCP capital analyst said. Bitcoin performs a slight retracement. Compared to Solana's gains, the price of Bitcoin has experienced a pullback after its early week rally. The largest digital asset by market cap decreased 3% in the past 24 hours and was changing hands for $70,825 at 1:55 p.m. Eastern Time, according to the block's price page. Also, the 7-day moving average for Bitcoin trading volume across all major centralized cryptocurrency exchange has dropped from a multi-month high of $27.64 billion at the beginning of the week to $22.94 billion, according to the block's data dashboard. This represents a decrease of over 18%. Now, mind you, all of that decrease, all of that being said, we're still in a Bitcoin bull market, which is wild. Which is wild. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, I was at my homeboy's crib and he said he's all in on Solana. He doesn't have any Bitcoin anymore, man. Listen, I rock with Solana, man, but you're not going to catch me without no damn Bitcoin. You're not going to catch me without no Bitcoin, man. For real. I remember when cryptocurrency when I first started into cryptocurrency, the first thing that I started thinking about was how can I get my job to pay me in a set amount of Bitcoin? Literally, like the first thing that I immediately converted my system of finance and finance communication into I want everything in Bitcoin. Immediately. Like I want my paychecks in Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay for everything in dollars. Give me Bitcoin. Like if I'm paying you, you'll get paid in dollars. I'm never letting go of Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait until Christmas. I can't say that enough. Solana-based crypto exchange Drift plans pre-launch market for new coins, new tokens. A pre-launch market may help create better price discovery, Drift co-founder Cindy Liao said. Okay. Drift Protocol is opening up a pre-launch market for trading tokens that have not yet started trading. The first token with a market will be Wormhole's upcoming W. Soon to be a marketplace on Solana for trading tokens that doesn't yet exist. Drift Protocol, a crypto spot and future exchange that operates on the Solana blockchain, plans to expand into a pre-launch market too, with a service that lets traders bet on the price of tokens before they start officially trading. There's plenty of such assets to choose from these days. A coterie of crypto startups on Solana are preparing to airdrop new tokens to their users, including Wormhole's W and Tensor's TNSR. Their token holders will get to vote on the future of the project, but these so-called governance tokens are fundamentally financial assets. They trade on unregulated exchanges where buyers and sellers are filled often chaotically by market makers and algorithms. The first moments of their trading lives are often highly volatile. How does one price an asset that didn't exist before? Cindy Liao, Drift's co-founder, said traders and market makers have generally followed a stilted logic. Price the token at the project's most recent valuation and add some sort of premium to find the premium or something close to it. Traders could use a pre-launch market. If it's an efficient market, it should price tokens well enough to launch close to the starting price, she said in a recent interview with CoinDesk conducted over Telegram. But there are risks that come with this kind of product. While spot and future exchanges can get their price data from a variety of sources, Drift's pre-launch market will only be able to reference itself. It will thus be vulnerable to manipulation that, if left unchecked, could force a liquidation cascade across the entire protocol. Drift is putting liquidation guardrails up that will stymie runaway prices, according to a blog post. It will also require traders to settle up any debts they've accrued on other trading products, some of which allow for risky leveraged positions. Having a fair, liquid market is even harder for pre-launch markets than it is for meme coins, Liao said. But Drift, nonetheless, has signed a few market makers up to back these contracts. Pre-launch markets aren't a new concept in DeFi, though they have not yet taken hold in Solana. Demand for these services aren't sky high either, according to Liao. She estimates Drift's market could see less than 1 million in daily volume if it follows the trend set on other chains. All right. So again, people are really starting to use Solana a lot, which means that its quote unquote adoption is increasing. It not yet institutional adoption increasing, but its adoption is increasing, which is a good thing, which means that if the adoption is increasing and the rate of adoption continues to increase, then more than likely it's going to be quote unquote highly likely that we will probably see at some point institutional adoption, which will start taking prices to places that we want to see them and beyond. Imagine that, prices beyond where you want to see them. As far as I'm concerned, that's literally where we are right now in the reality of cryptocurrency. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the room. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please take a moment, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that bell icon twice. If you haven't shared the stream, wherever you're watching from, make sure you share the stream. I want to shout out to stream sponsors. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. Make sure you guys show AB some love. Shout out to my man, Project Leroy, for joining the channel as a member. Make sure you guys show him some love. Again, we're getting close to 100 members on BLR2. Become a member. It's only 99 cents. Shout out to my man, Phil Mayo, with the $10 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Miss Nisi for the 6 months of membership support. Shout out to my man, Kurt, with the $4.99 super chat. And shout out to Miss Nisi with the $100 super chat. Definitely appreciate that, and definitely appreciate you, Miss Nisi. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you're not subscribed to all of my channels, take a moment. Make sure you got the bell. Hit twice on both of or on all of them. More than likely, we'll probably be doing a late night stream on Undocumented. So if you're not a subscriber of Undocumented, make sure you guys take a moment and go over there and subscribe. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,